Did you know only 1% of supplements have earned the USP mark? An independent certification for quality and purity. I recommend Nature Made because they've earned the most of any brand.
It's not shitty anymore.
I don't know. It depends.
Schlitz was the king. It and Budweiser battled for a long time because Schlitz was actually good, and then it was like a Coke Pepsi thing, like head to head, and then Budweiser, Budweiser was more popular than Schlitz, then Bud, then Schlitz, then Bud, then Schlitz, and then finally Bud was on top for good.
Well,
and then
the company, you're going into the selling, right?
Well, even before that, but yeah, because then the owner of the company died, and like his replacements, even before selling it, or maybe after selling, but it tied in with the selling. No, it was before selling because they destroyed it.
They changed the recipe for it to make it cheaper to make.
Exactly. If they couldn't be the best, they would be the most profitable, and they did that by becoming the shittiest, cheapest beer possible. Like that takes a month to ferment because even crappy American lagers need that time.
Yeah.
The Schlitz, they put chemicals and stuff into it so it would ferment in like 4 days. And so there'd be like stuff floating in it just from the globs. It was just monstrous.
Yeah.
But then they sold it like 3 or 4 times, and it finally got sold, ironically enough, to Anheuser-Busch, the people who killed him.
Yeah.
And then they brought back the original classic formula, which was a good formula back in the day.
I've been challenged. Speaking of shitty beers, I've been challenged to buy the Costco beer and bring it to War Machine Weekend. Just hand it out. It's like $10 for 48 cans of shitty Kirkland beer.
Walgreens came out with their own brand of beer like last year. And it was like a 6-pack for $1. It was
that's pretty rough. I think the lowest I've gone on like the cheap shitty beer run is like Hamm's. Hamm's is probably the lowest I've dipped. Steel Reserve maybe.
If I owned a van, I would bring a keg of something New Glarus to War Machine Weekend.
I thought about bringing a couple sampler packs because fancy enough they
definitely bring sampler packs.
Yeah, because they like give that they have that like 12-pack thing, and like Costco has like a massive liquor section and it's amazing. But like you get them for, I think they're normally like $16 in the real world.
Yeah.
But in Costco they're only like $12 or $11.
Yeah.
So I was just gonna bring a couple of those.
I mean, between Andy and I, and apparently you, there's gonna be Spotted Cow and 2 women there in bottles. A couple dozen each, maybe.
Yeah, a cooler full of Kirkland beer.
Yeah. But I was just gonna straight up get like a quarter barrel or whatever, and just bring that thing down.
Yeah, that'd be pretty legit. I mean, I probably could fit it in my car.
I could probably just put it in the back. I got a Taurus, they're pretty big, but
I know I'm just bringing.
Carpooling.
Yeah, I'm just bringing Ethan with me, Ethan and Amanda. So the rest, it's either clothing or beer, or minis. Even though I'm probably only gonna bring like 3 or 4 lists.
So you bring the quarter barrel.
I could. I mean,
just set it up in the hall and be the most popular people.
Yeah, I could. I'd strap it to my back.
You could be the keg bearer.
I could be the keg bearer. I walk around in nothing but a loincloth for the rest of War Machine Weekend?
I won't stop it if you bring beer.
Yeah. Well, we got an airbrush. We could paint you blue.
Yeah, we could.
Paint abs on him.
Yeah, that'd be pretty intense. There'd be one big.
That man's got some jiggly abs.
That's his muscles rippling.
That's how much I can control it. I can flex on the lower side
when they make the boobs bounce.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except for the
yeah,
same difference.
Truffle shuffle with a keg.
Yeah.
Yeah. And welcome to episode 131 of the Crippled System podcast.
That's a palindrome.
It is.
Not the whole thing, just the 131.
Yeah. Just 131.
Yeah, no, just the number.
So you didn't answer my question on whether you left the dank fest that was Buffalo Wild Wings last night.
No, we stayed and watched the main event.
Did the smell drift away?
Yeah, it did. It did. Or we got used to it, but I didn't eat anything else either, so it did not affect me.
Those guys had some stanky Chiba.
Holy cow. Yeah. Yeah, we made a bad decision to go watch the UFC event last night after... It wasn't really to go watch the UFC event, it was
to go eat,
at the
and
same
it just
time.
happened, yeah. And then Weed Fest 2015 happened, and then it seemed like some homecoming thing ended up getting done with, too, so...
Yeah, when Brian and I left, and then a whole bunch of, 14-year-old girls were going into the BW3 wearing skirts that should not have been allowed outside the house in.
Yeah.
We were very confused.
Why didn't you come back in, then?
We both looked at each other and were like, this is This is a dangerous.
This is a recipe for disaster.
This is a whole bunch of scantily dressed underage girls going into a bar. We're going home.
Yeah.
I own my car. Oh man, it was a good time.
So, okay, my name is Andy.
My name is Nathan.
My name is Brian.
Yay!
Yeah.
I don't think we have any announcements. Well,
Gamehole Con's coming up, so we can
still
announce
coming
that.
up.
Yeah. Gamehole Con.
Their pre-registering is going to end in like 2 weeks. So I think it's October
15th.
Yeah, there's a teen number in there. And then that's when it stops. So you gotta, if you're going to try and get in while it's cheap, I think it's what, $45 for pre-registration and $65 after?
So save yourself the $20 maybe if you're guessing right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if I'm guessing right. But then like the War Machine events are like $5 each, I'm pretty sure, and Rick's giving away a bunch of cool stuff.
He's giving away a couple of armies on Saturday.
Yeah.
That I know.
Did we confirm whether or not we could actually just bring a beer cooler in there? Is it one of those places where you can't bring your own shit because they sell it there?
I don't know, but if you have... I assume if you have maybe like a cooler backpack or something like that, they're not going to search something like that.
Yeah, I'll
Just
just
a
bring
camelback full of scotch.
bring a thermos.
like Tulsi.
Huh?
Was it Tulsi that had like a whole? He had a camelback that was filled with wine. I think it was.
Works for me.
I think it was at Adepticon like a couple of years ago. He just had a full camelback filled with wine.
I could fill one of those with the pre-mixed Long Island iced tea stuff. That Captain Morgan's. Oh, stuff's so good. Oh, it tastes
You could
like
end up in a
happiness.
coma, or you could have the sour Irishman I was drinking last night.
That thing that when I first tried it, it seemed like that was some dangerous juice, and then I think the second time you said it was a little more spunky. I wish I would have tried the spunky one, but that stuff seemed like it was lime Kool-Aid. You can get drunk off of that easy.
Yeah.
We just got done with the last six pack.
So they won't have to hear us talk about that for another 3 years.
Maybe next year we'll have something talking about it.
But not a six-pack.
Well,
The six-packs, we've pretty much had a six-pack every 3 years.
Correct.
And yeah, so I think the six-pack will be another hiatus. Because it takes Brian that long to recover and admit that he'll ever run an event again.
well, Travis and I were talking about doing something maybe next year.
Yeah,
for
Travis
that.
seemed to have a big boner over trying to make another six-pack happen. I'd be all for it, especially if you guys were thinking about doing like a regional one where you're like jumping around. That'd be
We
cool.
were talking about.
I thought the thing we were talking about wasn't a six-pack and wasn't supposed to be talked about.
Well, that now you're getting into territory that we shouldn't be talking about. But Travis and I had been talking about doing maybe a six pack that
Okay.
had
No, when
three
I
in
say-
Madison and three in like Milwaukee, Waukesha.
Yeah, when
Yeah,
I say
yeah.
regional, I mean like in Wisconsin, you're jumping around to the other
Yeah.
stores.
We've talked about that for a while. I mean,
Yeah.
about having one. And even if it was like, first one here and then what would it then be like? Milwaukee, Minnesota, Iowa,
No, it's just
Chicago.
still be
Well, I know.
Wisconsin.
But, and then like the last one, like, just the surrounding things and just have it bookend. But I mean, this is similar to that. But.
Yeah. We were talking about that. There's other things we were talking about too that we can't talk about.
Right.
Fight Club.
It might have something to do with the teenage girls who went into Buffalo Wild Wings.
It does
No,
not.
it does not have anything to do with that.
Okay, so it doesn't. It was just a
For fear of perjury.
distraction.
Wait, what?
Perjury? No, I think you mean. I hope you mean Fifth Amendment, because if you say if it's perjury.
well,
See,
you
I got in
could-
trouble for this last time, so I'll stress that anytime I talk about teenage girls wearing way too small of clothing, that's as a horrified parent, not as a horny guy.
Yep. Andy's just got his 40K goggles on and purge the heretics and all that jazz.
I don't think that's what he meant.
No, I understand.
No,
but
like
yeah.
of something about testimony.
Testes?
Yes. So Blitz in Melbourne is on in Melbourne, Australia this weekend.
Yeah, Blitz.
Yeah.
I assume that's a thing.
I assume it's not an event, as in like they're going to go blitz somebody. I assume that it's a tournament of some sort,
I
or
assume
maybe
as
they
well.
go and get blitzed.
They're Australians. They're always blitzed.
That
yeah,
is
that's
true.
like a favorite
is true.
pastime there.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I am disappointed to discover from you yesterday that you have not seen Grabbers.
Oh my God! Yeah, I have not seen Grabbers.
And he comes up and he's like, "There's this movie I found out about," but he shows it's Grabbers. I'm like, "Of course I've seen Grabbers like
Yeah.
2-3 times. It's Grabbers."
Never seen it, never heard of it and then somebody pointed out to me what the plot of that movie is. And I'm like, I I need to see this.
I would be so not screwed in that scenario. I'd be like the best person ever.
Yeah, just like some kind of monster invasion of all the places, Ireland.
Yeah.
And the monsters are allergic to people that are drunk. Yeah. Just
Which is like 90% of Ireland's population.
Like,
I mean, really.
It seems like that if they're aliens or if they're just monsters, I assume, right? Not aliens.
They're undersea monster.
Okay,
things.
so
Yeah,
undersea monsters. Okay. Well, so it's not the same thing as the aliens that landed on our planet in Signs. They're like, oh shit, there's water everywhere.
Right. No, these are like squid monsters come up Cthulhu style. We're being told that Blitz is a 50-point ADR tourney. I like ADR.
I really wish there was at least one in the 6-pack that was like Masters style where we could have had ADR. But it is what it is.
Yeah, Brian's one who came up with all the formats for it, so.
And
we ran the ADR before that.
Yeah, we've had a few in Madison, but not with the new season.
Not with new season, yeah, because the new season started in July.
Yeah, July was when it kicked. I'm so excited to try out the ADR at Gamehole Con. I think that's what I'll probably do. The Troll ADR's got Epic Borka, P Madrak, P Grim, and I guess just plain old Calandra.
And it may or may not have Borka 3, depending on when he comes out.
Doomshaper 3.
Doomshaper 3.
Borka 3.
Borka 3.
Well, they may or may not have Borka 3
Yeah,
as
they
well.
need to correct that mistake, yep.
He's going to be riding a bear that's going to be towing a trailer for kegs.
If that's the only way they'll be able to restore my faith in Borka, like that guy needs to be drunk all the time.
I have seen legit success with Borka.
I'm not saying that he's not successful, that he's not good. I really love it, and I have a really good list for him that I'm going to try out. But I really miss the drunken nature of him. Like, at least if they had something in there. But I guess it sends a good message that Borka doesn't drink and ride. So I guess that's something.
I assume the bear is drunk.
It could be. Maybe that's the only way you could get on it.
Yeah. I still go back to that. That is actually Epic Lug.
Yeah, I know. They've really missed the boat on that one.
Yeah, that's Epic Lug with just Borka.
But then you wouldn't be able to get that like weird interplay, because like playing with Brun and Lug in an Epic Borka list is actually pretty synergistic because he is immune to cold too. So it's,
he's not allowed in that list, is he?
He is.
Oh yeah,
well,
no,
he plays for Trolls.
He plays for Trolls,
themes.
Correct.
Not in the theme though. He's not allowed. But I mean, like it's an interesting interaction you get between the two. I've seen some people try it, but like Borka just wants so many points for his battle group that it gets kind of hard to do it.
Yeah. On the other hand, Brun and Lug.
Yeah. Well, I really want to get those guys, so I haven't given it a shot, but I really want to try it.
Yeah, all 4 of those. Are there only 4?
There's
I
4.
want to make sure I'm not bad-mouthing somebody.
Played,
but they're all good.
Yeah, I played Dahlia and Scareth for the first time in Lacrosse. I was just like, oh, well, I haven't played it, so how bad can it be? That is fucking amazing. Like, she is really, really fun.
She's difficult for people. Like Butcher hates her with such a passion.
Warcaster units have a hilarious screw-over against her, yeah.
She was a blast to play, and I use Wrong Eye and Snapjaw all the time. And the thing that I like the most about Wrong Eye and Snapjaw is that you can increase his battle group, and it's actually like good. Like you can put the Bull Snapper in there, and it's fine and dandy. But like with Rorschenbrine, I really don't see a whole lot of adding to that. And maybe when
Splatterbore Animus,
the Splatterboars come out,
Splatterbore Animus,
then maybe you might be able to see some additions to his battle group, but Dahlia and Scareth will never get anything special, and neither will Brownblood.
I think it's just like the Bull Snapper douchiness with Wrong Eye being a mercenary and getting the spiny growth onto things. The Splatterbore Animus in mercenary lists, I think, could be really, really legit.
It could be. Maybe we'll see some more Rorschenbrine hanging around.
Yeah.
Rorschenbrine are actually really legitimate as well, but we rarely see them out there.
Yeah.
Usually it's mostly... I think probably the most used one is Wrong Eye and Snapjaw.
Every time I build a pig list, well, I almost never put Rorschenbrine in my lists, and I'm always depressed that I don't put them in my list because I love them and they're good. So I don't know why I don't necessarily put them in my list. I think there's just so much stuff that pig lists kind of go to first. Like I need this, and I need Brigands, and I need Slaughterhouse, and then I run out of points, and there's no room for Rorschenbrine, and that always makes me sad.
9 points is kind of hard to fit in, especially most of the time when you have that big chunk of points. It's going into something that's going to fuel your caster for your entire game.
Right.
And removing one of those fuel points really hurts.
Yeah, you need to try and get work out of that 9 points. And like I know, like Wrong Eye and Snapjaw gets whored out all the time to Cricks because he does so much work with Cricks. He like gets more than 9 points back easily with especially like P. de Negra. So, but Roche and Brian, I don't see anybody really like abusing them enough to get more points than what he's worth.
And they're really shenanigan-y when you know how to use them with things like diversionary tactic and Sui. Like they can get all over the place.
Yeah, when I do see Roche and Brian, I do want to take out Brian as soon as I can, just because I don't like having to work around any of his garbage.
Part of the issue, I think, is that Wrong Eye and Snapjaw, because of Submerge, are super survivable. Rorsch has Dig In, which is nice, and so he's kind of survivable, but Brian is just like a 12-18 beast out there hanging in the wind, and you're just going to shoot him off the table, and then he's sad.
Well, and that's an interesting assessment, because if you look at Wrong Eye and Snapjaw played a lot because they're survivable, and then Dahlia and Scarif played moderately a good amount because she's super survivable, but like Brun and Lug, he has like flank. I think he has flank with the beast, doesn't he? So it's like he wants to get up there in the business too, so like if you're going to do a trade with Brun and Lug, that trade's going to lose you that entire module, whereas like you really don't want to do that. You want to get up and stay up on Brun and Lug, so that's why he's stuck on the flank doing nothing.
And Brun's super survivable, but Lug isn't. And then when Lug dies, Brun isn't scary anymore.
Exactly. He's just nothing. He's just a little dwarf running around with a pickaxe.
On the other hand, if he's a warcaster, he's pretty damn awesome.
Bankrupt as warcasters, Brun is really good because a manhunter that takes one die less damage and can boost attack and damage rolls in camp armor is pretty good.
Yeah. And speaking of Who's the Boss, there is going to be a Who's the Boss in December. Not 100% sure where it's going to be, but there will be a charity Who's the Boss in December, preferably located in a place that serves alcohol.
That'd be really good. I was gonna offer up Baraboo as a possibility for that, just because it's a massive store, but no, there's no booze happening there. They try to do it pisses me off because they do the wine walk. They'll buy a temporary liquor license for that, but they won't do it for any event. It really irks me off because I hate wine walks. I think they're stupid. Ban the wine walk.
I wrote 6-pack down. We should talk about it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I have to scribble it out, and I already scribbled something out. I don't want to have to do it again.
What did you scribble out?
I scribbled out UFC and beer because we barely talked about them.
We didn't. It didn't really.
That's why I scribbled them out.
Yeah. It wasn't really much of a subject. You shouldn't even wrote it down in the first place.
I write down as we're talking.
Timestamps are important, Andy.
I don't want to forget something. I'd rather scribble something out after I determine that it was not talked about very much.
Yeah, because you never know where it's gonna how much we're gonna expound on that topic. But yeah, the 6-pack.
You gave me a job. Don't tell me how to do it.
Yeah,
do it.
I'm gonna write Andy Goes Fucks Himself down as a timestamp.
I'm the one who transcribes it to the internet, so I'll probably leave that part out.
Tyrant.
No, you got to have some journalistic integrity, Andy.
6-pack.
Yeah, 6-pack.
2 of us got plaques.
Yes, I think that's a high five for you folks. We didn't slap dicks.
You guys.
I worked hard for mine.
I didn't even play in any of them. I couldn't.
If you could, yeah.
If you some of them, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
None of them?
Not one, no.
No, I missed the first one because I was...
you were at a concert, weren't you?
Yeah, I was at Rockin' the Range. And then I helped Brian run all the rest of them because they're all pretty... Especially with trying to get that time period of fitting in 5 rounds in a single day. I don't think Brian could have did it.
We didn't have less than 30 people for any of them, did we? Maybe
the
escalation.
The escalation one had.
Yeah, that one seemed like it kind of had a mixed response.
Mixed response. I know that a lot of people were just doing other stuff.
Yeah.
Rikio Rumble was that weekend, I believe.
Amanda's birthday.
Some people there. Amanda's birthday. Obviously, a lot of us missed it for that.
Yeah.
Was that the weekend I went up to
It was
Minnesota?
Because I tried to convince her that she'd be able to auto coin if she went. And
yeah.
I was like, if Dathan's going to be there, you can basically auto coin anyways. Just like pull your head out of your ass.
Yeah.
But
I like the time that no, because that was the week. The time before she was gonna come and actually fight me for it, and I ended up having 0 wins that event.
Yeah, so you guys tied for best of.
We tied for best, even though she wasn't there.
Oh man, no, the 6-pack was awesome. We had
Leaded isn't a word, Andy.
We had what 40-ish people.
For when? What?
At this last one, the very last, not Who's the Boss 6-pack event.
This last 6-pack, we have 34.
Okay, I thought it looked like it was over 40, but it was a good time. I think Jordan B took best overall. He took best War Machine.
Jordan Bourgeois was the best of the 6-pack.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He got all the points. He worked real hard throwing a fuck ton of Doom Ravers at people.
Yeah.
Or alternately throwing a fuck ton of pikemen at people.
And people give me shit for playing runes in EE.
I give Jordan the most shit of anyone on the planet.
I guess maybe it's just become background noise since it happens so much, but I just never hear it.
We've been giving him shit about playing kind of the janky lists for a long time. Whatever faction he's going into, he plays the janky lists. Like, guess what two things he wants to play when he gets into Trolls?
Runes in EE?
No, actually not
right.
Runes.
He's behind the times on half of it.
Is he more like Madrak in EE?
Nope.
Or?
EE and Family Reunion.
Oh, Family Reunion is not bad, but it just didn't have the tricks.
Because Warders came out and then everybody forgot about it.
Well, I don't know. I could talk a lot about Family Reunion because I really like it as a list. It just takes a lot of finesse to play it and play it to that kind of effect.
It's honestly, it's a theme, but it doesn't have it. It's how would I say it? It's a poor man's version of Meat Mountain.
Well, the thing is like with the problem with Family Reunion is, number one, you don't get Mulg, and that's a big loss to having a big armor list that wants to hit hard.
Because survivability is not really worth anything if you can't hit hard back.
Exactly. And then so his battle group is usually going to be small, especially since he doesn't have spells that really affect his battle group. So I've played Family Reunion list at 50 points where I take one beast just so I can get the 4 to 5 Fury that I want, because I know I can tap the keg. And at that point, you're really leaning on all those medium-based infantry a lot to do work. And as soon as people start teasing it apart, it's really easy to lose momentum in the game.
But you got all those champs.
Their champs are good, but they don't get where they want to. You've got the one like Scaldi unit, and that's usually going to be a minimum unit just because of points. But and because basically you're trying to get your opponent to focus on the Scaldi unit so they forget the big units. But Family Reunion is really good.
No, what are you doing? No,
I'm opening the right end.
I'm not opening them.
All right.
I'm just tilting them up so people could read what they say.
Oh, they're showing off the beer chips I found at Costco. And before you say, I like beer cheese too, they're not beer cheese chips. They're just beer chips. They're made with beer, and they're kettle cooked. So I'm really interested in trying these. I figured I'm either going to like them a lot or vomit immediately.
Well, that seems like a thing to be filmed.
Yeah, maybe.
A good thing we have a camera.
Yeah.
Good thing we have a camera. I left my Kindle downstairs.
Yeah, at any rate,
no, it's in front of Catplug.
We had that, and then there were a ton of prizes given away. Like, we gave away a Menoth all-in-one box. I think it was
plaques for
$225 in gift certificates for the store we were at.
Yep.
There were plaques for every single faction as best of the entirety of the 6-pack.
I like if there were any PP staffers there, they would have been a little infuriated, because I know it's a pet peeve, at least of the ones who take it more seriously, was that Brian, the plaques had best of Convergence, best of Circle, best of Legion.
Yeah, they didn't say the full name of the faction.
Retribution. Well, no, that's fine. Note that those are all blank of insert god name here, and it's the thing. The Legion, the Retribution, the Convergence, the Protect... No, and that was it. It was the Retribution, and then best of Menoth.
Yeah.
And that infuriates a good chunk of the staffers, because they're like, they aren't Menoth. Menoth's a god they worship. They're the Protectorate.
Yeah.
And he got all the other ones right. And he even told me he noticed it and then just decided he didn't care.
Yeah, that gets me too. When I'm taking people's... factions, or when I'm taking people's list results for games, and I hear them say, like, what faction are you playing? Menoth. I'm like, you're not playing.
So few people say, oh, what's your Protectorate drop? You know, they say it's Menoth drop.
Yeah. Well, Menoth drop is just stinky. So, ha!
But the other ones, B-Nick likes my shirt. They say, but yeah, because you don't do that for the other ones. You don't really say Everblight. Nobody says Skyra,
yeah, I don't know.
Whatever the fuck the Retribution is retributing.
Retribution is Syra, I think it is.
But whatever, people don't
Yeah.
say the god name. They don't say
Or Cirrus.
Cirrus you'll hear occasionally, but rarely. Just like you rarely hear people say Everblight. They pretty much all say Legion.
Well, and
No,
Manos,
like,
I say Everblight a lot.
so few
So
people
too.
say actually troll bloods. I mean, like it's nitpicky, but they're not trolls. They're troll bloods. The beasts are trolls,
yeah.
but the entirety of the faction is united under the troll bloods.
True-ish. They're troll kin.
Well, there's troll. All troll kin are troll bloods. I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
Yeah, the troll blood faction is made up of trollkin and trolls.
Yeah.
And pigs.
So they're all troll blood.
Whelps.
I'm pretty sure that's. I don't know. Someone can fluffy correct me, but I'm pretty sure I got the troll kin are separate from the troll beasts.
I'm just going through my head and make sure there's no random non-troll blood faction members of troll blood.
Well, Gudrun's de facto.
De facto's one thing. He's not friendly faction. You know,
In Family Reunion, he is.
that's true. In Family Reunion,
Which
he
is
is.
what's so shitty about
there's
not being
nobody-
able to put a fell collar in that list. It's the one time he would be good.
What? Gudrun bad? I never.
Just Revelita, get him back up.
How is he in like every one of my 2-list pairs, and I never bring Rauschenbrine? Like something's
Yeah, there
psychotic
is
in my
one
head.
there.
I hate
You have
Gudrun
Gudrun in your 2-list pairs. but
pretty
you
much
don't-
always because I'm always
He's
hopeful.
he's a third of their points.
I'm always hopeful that this will be the time that my Matt 50 billion Reach Berserker model charges and doesn't miss the first Defense 12 infantry model in the huddle. And he always fucking misses every time. Because Gudrun sucks balls. That pile of crap.
Yeah. And do we want to, like, while we're at, I was going to bring up the other Ogren solo, but I think we're disclaimering that we're not talking about spoilers.
Are we saving it all for last week, or do we want to do like just general feelings without stats or anything?
Well, I mean, we could. I'd like to go have actually page through the book next week and actually go through it that way.
Okay.
I mean, because technically, yeah, the spoilers are pretty much, most of them are confirmed.
I'll just say
From
my
my
general
standards.
impression is that Minions won the book. And
I would
by
say-
proxy, depending on which is the best of the Minions things, the factions that can take those things, like everybody knows the Croak Raiders have been out,
Yeah.
so that's not a spoiler. Like, Croak Raiders are fucking amazing.
Yeah, they've really revolutionized your minion drop into your lists.
Yeah, I would say Minions
did really well.
Minions as a faction definitely won the book, but in just the releases, I think Trolls took this one home.
What do you mean?
Like, if you look at it in the vacuum of just the releases that are in the book, like the Trolls kind of have like the most solid releases as just the models are, but like the releases for Minions seem to like bolster the Minions faction a lot. You know what I mean?
You're going to compare the pig lights to that UA that you were just foaming at the mouth about yesterday?
Okay,
and say that
we'll
Trolls fit better this
discredit
book?
that, but being able to heal things, getting the Glacier King and Doom Shaper 3 are probably a little bit better.
You quieted the whole table.
No, I did because I was livid with that. I was like, if they put that slipaway shit on that fucking pygmy UA, I am gonna flip and never fucking use it. God damn it, I hate that goddamn UA.
You know what? I'm going to make it a point if I ever take you on in a match to make you have to use that. Or if you're taking Bushwhackers without the UA, make you wish
Then you
had
can
it.
just jam them with like Satixis or something, and then be
Yeah.
like, "Yep, that's fine. They can go fuck with them for 2 hours." Because I'm gonna go ahead and actually play the game with real stuff now instead of slip away with my shitty Bushwhackers and their crappy UA. Bushwhackers are good. Don't get me wrong. I like them. I like the laser beam, but I'm paying in the pig UA. You pay 2 points for an extra gun, and that's the only thing I'm gonna look at it as.
No, double, triple, no. Even if Slipway sucks, you're getting an extra Bushwhacker gun and a fucking AoE.
But it's like a range 12 AoE POW 12.
AoE 4
Okay, whoop-de-dick.
and plus 2 extra defense for them.
So
they're
that
more
Glacier King,
survival, have
the
vastly
Glacier
more
King
offensive
does
output.
that too.
What?
He gives him +2 also.
And this guy gives him another plus 2.
Whatever. I don't agree with that. I don't think it's good.
17 fucking...
What else in the game
Bushwhackers.
has that 24-inch reach on them that wants them dead that bad?
What?
if you're taking them in the best possible scenario, it's with Gunbjorn to snipe them so they go from range 14 to 18, and then they bushwhack at the end to move another 6 inches, so it's 24 inches.
But you know what's
for
nicer?
them to start fucking with you.
What's nicer is sniping your highwaymen and not sniping them so that they're both long threat range, and then it's only like 20 inches.
Well, that's when you get into the mid-game, but when you're first starting off before the first engagement has happened, a 24-inch threat on a laser beam from the bushwhackers is really good. Yeah. But when are they going to run in? Then you have to go then the highwaymen are going to be in the middle, and then the pig bushwhackers are going to be in the back, and your slip-away UA is going to be a piece of shit.
But they're going to get bushwhacked in by bog trogs who are going to run and engage them, and you're going to be like, why don't I have slip-away?
I know. I don't know. There will never be a point when I'm playing that game where I say, oh, bad, I wish I had slip-away right now. So bad.
Gunny Tier Force.
I've been playing them in Tier 4. That's what I've been doing with the Glacier.
Yeah, but they'll have camouflage in the trench.
Yes. They'll even fence like 20.
Yeah.
And then you don't that bushwhack away thing doesn't work because you want to stay in the trench.
But they're taking something that and
he's lobbing mortars out of the trench.
Fix the problems with the pygmy bushwhackers. Like the pygmy bushwhackers didn't have a problem surviving because nobody gave a shit to kill them. I mean, and what else? Somebody's gonna drift an AOE on them, and then they're gonna die anyways, and all that defense doesn't matter for shit.
Doesn't it though?
No, not a bit.
Doesn't it?
A Winter Guard mortar crew could annihilate the entire unit.
I didn't realize.
So AoEs are good?
And when you've got high defense guys, yeah.
Okay. So, like, for example, if a 2-point UA gave you an extra UA, extra AoE 4 in your list, that would be good?
It's not that good because you've got Gunbjorn taking them anyways.
Oh my god, a 16-inch AoE 4?
Your caster comes with one for free.
So you're getting another one! Gunbjorn, you are doubling the AoE offensive output plus adding a bunch of extra stuff for 2 points.
I'm going to live in my world where slipaway is a piece of shit on
You can
pygmies.
do that.
Yep. If it was on bushwhackers too, or not bushwhackers, but if it was on burrowers, then I'd be a little bit more yippy about it. But since it's only them,
you'd be a little bit more yippy if slipaway was
maybe I'd be really happy if it was on them. Okay.
Yeah. The thing is, think of the logistics of them dragging around a mortar inside a tunnel.
It's great.
Yeah, it is. They just shoot it up to pop out of their holes. You don't need to worry about the shovels.
Range 16 AoE 4. That's worth 2 points by itself.
But then you're taking. Never mind. I don't think so.
Sitting in a trench, lobbing AoEs, lobbing a 20-inch laser beam.
Even then, it's cheaper than their little cannon itself too.
Yeah.
The Thumper. Yeah, the Thumper's 3 points, but
yeah. Is it only AoE 3 as well?
But Thumper doesn't have an AoE.
Oh, no, Thumper's just a straight shot.
Yeah.
That's
slam,
even better.
Depending on what you hit.
Yeah, slam knockdown deal.
Momentum.
No, I'm not a fan. I'll still buy it because I'm a fanboy of craziness when it comes to trolls, but I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it.
Just
fill
up
AoE 4s.
All take 2 Thumpers, take that UA.
And he doesn't have light artillery either, right?
What's that?
The AoE does the UA have the light artillery rule?
I don't. Maybe he can move with them. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll have to look at it again. But when I saw the slip away, I kind of just I checked out. I was like, that should have just not been on them. Mm-hmm. It should have been something else.
I can see why you think they got all the best models in the book.
Well, no, it's not. Everything they got was the best. But you can't tell me that the Glacier King, Doomshaper 3, and the Heal and Hose are not as good, if not better of a release than what the 2 beasts that Pigs got.
I think you can have your Glacier King. Your Glacier King takes such a dirt nap when 10 battle boars charge it.
That's oh man, I gotta pee too. I didn't want to leave you here on your own.
That's fine. You can go. There's a toilet up here.
No, it's all right. I'm just gonna keep on. I'm just gonna keep on bitching about stuff. But I think when you throw in
pigs,
I think when you throw in the Gator Arc node, then I think you can really make an argument for minions taking the cake on that one.
The Gator Arc node is the worst thing they got.
It is the worst thing, but it really opens up a lot of space for a lot of casters. People are talking about Caliban, and he was just completely out of the question before. You'd never talk about him.
Also, I got a 3-point UA that gives 3 janky things.
Yeah, I know. You're brigand hero of heartache.
Yeah, but he somehow manages to be Heartache and an auto-include at the same time.
I know, yeah. It's one of those things where it's like the Winter Guard UA. It doesn't bring as much like amazement to the unit, but you probably won't see Brigands without him anymore.
Gang is so good.
Yeah.
Gang is so
well, and
good.
he's one of those interesting UAs that kind of has like he wears two different hats where people will say like Prowl and Reform don't like make sense together.
Fuck those. It's Diggin' and Reform.
Yeah, Diggin' and Reform.
Yeah,
but the thing is like
yeah.
they can function in two different situations.
Oh, what options? What?
Well, and now you've got a guy who actually gives you a cloud. So
what? Yeah, which is hilarious.
Yeah. So I'll give that minions probably are at the same level of the Trollblood releases, if not just maybe a wee bit higher. Only because Slipaway became the Pig Bushwhackers special order.
Oh my god! I saw those pig lights, and I just crapped myself.
I know. I was like, "Oh, this is really cool. They got what they wanted."
The magical moment of reading the battle bore and be like, "Well, this guy doesn't seem very rabid so good," yeah. And then I just pooped and came, and it was dangerous and bad, but wonderful.
So it's a light war beast with Rabid, with 2 initial melee attacks, from what I heard.
And Fury 3.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's
going to be hilarious with Batten and mobility on him.
Fuck. And Arcadius.
Yeah, either one. Just anywhere.
Arcadius, that's fucking amazing.
Yeah. It's good stuff. Makes me happy.
Yeah, I don't need to know anymore. I'm going to be very happy on Wednesday when they actually come in.
Yes.
So I can actually see the book in person.
Yes. I'm looking forward to seeing pictures and fluff and stuff like that. Because that's the one thing spoilers can never give you, is pictures and fluff.
Well, especially the spoilers that we saw, because there was hand-typed out spoilers.
Yes.
By somebody with way too much fucking time on their hands.
Yeah, the transcribed spoilers.
Well,
they probably took a photograph and then copied text from the photograph, whatever it was.
It almost makes me feel like they're spoilers from a playtester, because I guarantee that's the typed out, just boring PDF format that playtesters get stats in. Because it's not like Privateer's going to print cards and mail them to playtesters.
Correct.
Like, that looks like a copy and paste from playtest PDFs.
If that's the case,
it's a random guess. I have no inside proof this is the thing, but that just, to me, when I saw that, that's what it felt like to me. Because remember the playtest format was the same thing. When the playtest came out, it was just boring text like that.
Had anyone heard anything about how like this might have been an unexpected leak from Privateer Press's end? Like, they didn't expect that the whole book would basically be spoiled in one day.
Well, the problem is, though, is it gets out to a distributor.
Yeah, that's what I figured, is these probably came from distributors.
Even if it wasn't spoiled this way, even if it was... What am I trying to say? This could have been a distributor transcribe, like Andy was saying, because it's in the hands of normal Joe Schmoes right now.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of like camera photos where like somebody takes pictures of the theme list and it's really like shaky, where they were like, "Oh, I hope my boss doesn't catch me." Click.
Yeah, for one thing, it's also this kind of one of the subjects I want to talk about is really, why would you want to risk your job?
Yeah, your livelihood
to print out a fucking spoiler. I mean, it's something that's going to be out in a week. What does it really get you personally, other than like notoriety of being first?
That's,
I guess,
for a lot of people, that's all they need.
Yeah, I really have a hard time believing that these people who do these leaks are these altruistic people who are like, these people want these rules and I have them, so I'm gonna take my power trip. And it probably turns into a power trip. It's not that they're altruistic, that they're just really trying to be like, look at my dick and all these rules.
It's not like like a movie or something like that you're going to release out to the public beforehand. I mean, that's I guess maybe that's different, but I mean, you can't really do anything with the spoilers.
Well, that's fine. They want to feel important.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's anonymous, it doesn't matter. They don't have to go out there and be like, "Hi, my name's Nathan. Here's the spoilers. Everybody talk about how great I am." That's the secondary thing, like when Trevor and Chili and stuff are the ones actively tweeting the spoilers. Everybody, that's attention to them. But even the person who leaks it to them, even when you do it anonymously, people are still paying attention to you.
Yeah. I guess I would feel, I don't know. I feel sorry for the folks that in a sense leak the spoilers to the people that are releasing it, because I mean that's potentially their livelihood.
Yeah.
If they work for a distributor or somebody like that, they put that person at a risk of issues.
There's also a lot of things your job does for you beyond just like your livelihood. I mean, like if these distributors getting health insurance of some sort, like you kind of there's certain jobs where like you feel like your job cares about you. Mm-hmm. So I don't know why you'd want to just like stick it to them with throwing out spoilers when you're violating that kind of
violating
agreement.
The street date is basically what you're doing and that's a big no for a lot of places.
Exactly, and they usually can't track it back that easily. So it's really just
but look
not
at
appropriate.
Look at like Ain't It Cool News. You know, this whole website. You know, they're not as big now as they used to be in the '90s and whatnot. But for a while, they're the big source for people to get insider information and spoilers about movies that are in filming and stuff. And all it was just random. The guy holding the light, you know, the key grip or whatever, would see them shooting a scene where Snape kills Dumbledore, and then he'd go, hey, so there's a movie coming up and Snape kills Dumbledore, and he's anonymous, you know, and he doesn't gain anything by putting that information out there, but he feels important and cool, and
Did we put out Zappities,
Human
by
nature.
the way, for some reason? I'm just reminded of it.
We did, but I don't.
My phone vibrated a few times. I can put it on the table so we can all hear when it vibrates.
No.
Still just want to flop it. we need to have the vibrator episode.
No.
I saw a vibrator race online.
That would be pretty legit.
Yeah, no, there was a board like at like a 45-degree angle or whatever, and it had like walls, you know, so there were columns going down it, and they just had a vibrator at the top of each, and they turned them all on, and they just pulled out the fence, and they just vibrated their way down the board, and people would just bet on which one would get to the bottom first.
Nice.
We could do that, and we could actually put all of our phones at the top there, and just watch it vibrate all the way down, see how many texts we can get before they...
Audience participation.
Yeah.
You know, we say, hey...
The more calls and
you know,
text messages you get, yeah.
We could
Then
even,
we
we'll
can
just
just
put
put our-
all of our phone numbers on the internet.
Oh, we could get...
so that they could call specific people's phones.
I would just actually put all of your number.
We could get burners, though. Burners would be okay.
Pansy.
Well, whatever. I mean, like, I like my privacy a little bit. Not really. I really don't give a shit. But
I know your number. It's 608. Hold on. It's on my phone.
One of the other things I wanted to say about the six-pack, I just had kind of spaced it out a little bit, but I know that a lot of times in these like series events where you're getting coins, because we give out coins at every event, which is really cool because the coins have kind of phased out of the privateer press world now, and everybody who coined in that event, for the most part, were people who hadn't really coined in the faction before, so there was a lot of push between all of the factions to try and like, I know a good example was like Ethan took Best Circle over the whole six-pack, but Celeste took Best Circle of that day.
And that's what I love about the faction coins. And I can't remember if we talked about this on the podcast or just us having a conversation randomly, but I love the fact that Celeste was in the losers bracket.
Yep.
She went 3-2 for the day. 3-2. She didn't go X-1. She had 2 losses.
Yeah.
And normally with 2 losses, you're done. You're not getting anything. You might get a painted raffle, but that's it.
Yep.
But with the best of faction coins, she got a fucking prize, and she was best of something. And you know, on Facebook, I could see her. She was excited.
Yeah,
she was proud. She got a goddamn coin for being the best person there with a faction. And it wasn't a default like all of my convergence coins.
Yeah,
was. There was a fight for it.
There were 4 circle players for that
4 people at this tournament, and she beat them for a prize with legitimate skill.
Yep.
And that's what I love about the faction coins, and why I'm sad just to see the first, second, third coin.
Yeah, because that supports more of like the good player style. Like it supports the players who play the best and not the players who played their faction best. Like when you give out faction coins, you're giving more prizes for more people. It makes them more excited and interested to go. Like I've fought tooth and nail for my third place hero pin because every single tournament I go to, Travis knocks me out of contention for first or second. So I just think it's a bad direction. The pins are cool and I like that, but I think if they would have done something a little bit more inclusive, it would have been a little bit more interesting.
Generally, the faction coins are only book releases.
Yeah, they do book releases. Yep. So these ones were like all the Exigence and Vengeance coins, I think. Yep. The ones where they took away the cool color and shrunk the coins down a bit.
Yeah. I mean, you can see a couple of the old ones up there, but yeah, they're much cooler back then.
Well, in some of those Mark I coins, they had like unique ridges and everything. I'm sure it's like fucking crazy expensive to make those.
The old Hordes ones, yeah, they had unique shapes. I do have a Legion up there, I think.
Yeah, it's like octagonal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, it's octagonal. Oh, you got the longest night thing?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did win that.
Got it on eBay?
No.
I won that
No,
bid.
I won that fucking thing. God damn it.
I wonder,
Hey, that was my scenario.
one possible downside of the faction coins could be if you have like an 8-man tournament and there's nobody playing
no
4 of the
representation,
factions,
yeah.
then it's just they're kind of wasted coins. So
They
I can see that.
Yeah.
You almost think that they could go around that. Would it be too difficult instead of just ordering tournament kits blindly to just it would be too much trouble. It'd be like the gold cards where you could submit and say I need I had this event, these 6 factions had representatives, so I just need these 6 coins.
Considering, I don't know if this is general knowledge, but I mean, at least the amount of press gangers out there running events,
Yeah,
I
that's
think
general knowledge.
it would be, probably too much for them to handle. I mean, just getting press gang orders handled is
Yeah, but that
a
just seems
chore
lot
for
more
2
unique.
months.
Like
I guess it would, without
all it
knowledge
is
of
just grabbing at most 12 coins and throwing them in a box and shipping it. And that's already, like, I know that they just do the same, whatever, so it's easy now, but it doesn't seem as hard. Like, with the gold cards that they stopped because it was a massive headache, I mean, that's a lot more to picking out 30 different cards because of your 2 lists or whatever. But just saying, oh, it's a standard kit, but they didn't have Legion or Trolls, yoink, yoink, and throw it in the mail.
Or you could do
Almost
like
doesn't
a
seem
coin
that
exchange
hard.
program even too. At that rate where you take over a year's time, you take all the coins that you haven't given out and then exchange them for either a new set or some other thing like the pins for first, third, and second, like that. I
Have
think
a
that
deposit, send back extra coins to Privateer Press for...
it seems like an interesting idea.
I don't know.
Something to do with them at least.
The downside with doing it where after the event you submit what you need because of who showed up is that you would have no physical prizes to give out at the event.
Yeah, and I've been around for those where the person didn't get their tournament kit right away.
Sam.
Yeah, and they're like, "Can I have your address so I can send you this coin?" And you're just like, "I guess so." But yeah, it kind of takes the mystique out of the award ceremony.
Yeah, when you don't have a prize. Yeah, it kind of sucks, especially if you're driving a long way.
Yeah, it does. But no, I think the pins are interesting, but I just don't think they're in a good direction as far as keeping the local communities thriving. Because sometimes I would go to an event if they had coins specifically because I wanted a coin for the certain faction I was playing. But now it just turns into a regular grind, and if you don't get third, second, or first, you're looking at raffles, and a lot of people don't do that. I think that's really a big Madison thing, or a big meta thing, or a more worldwide meta thing.
Yeah, I think we'll probably end up seeing Privateer probably go to more of a just pins, maybe even faction pins in the future.
Yeah, faction pins would be good too. Those pins are selling like hotcakes. I've bought the shit out of. If there's a Chibi Troll or Kador one out there, I'll get it as soon as it drops. Except for that fucking Sorsha pin. I need that thing, and I need the Borka.
Which one? The white Sorsha?
No, the Chibi Sorsha that they came out with
okay.
at Gen Con. And I need the Chibi Borka that they have in that big pack.
The new breakfast cereals, the Cricks and Battlejacks.
Yeah, those are really nice. I like that they're doing some kind of funny things with them too, but those pins are just if there's one thing I've noticed about War Machine players, they love collecting weird shit. And Privateer Press is good at coming up with weird shit to give you.
So Travis is upset that we said something about Sam, but we weren't actually talking about Travis this time. We were talking about Sam.
I've never...
Not actually.
Oh, didn't Travis do it, and that's why we called him Sam?
Yeah, that's exactly the reason
thing?
why. But we weren't actually referring to Travis at that time when we said Sam.
I haven't been to a Travis event, but I really would like to go to one. I think he always...
They're exactly what you'd
someone
expect a Travis event would be like.
Well, I played in Masters at Gen Con.
What? I meant that in a good way. They are well run, and rules are well officiated. And joy is had by all.
I was trying to be nice.
Me too.
But it's going to come back to me.
If you assumed I meant that in a bad way, that's Travis. No, Travis, nothing. You can't. I love you.
That doesn't work. I tried it on Andy.
Slipaway's so good on them, though.
Fucking Christ, man. I just started getting out of that funk. I was like, oh, slip away. Oh, I'm feeling comfy. I've found that now if Brian was here, he'd love it because since I gave him shit about Mass Effect 3 constantly, if he says slip away, I'll just lose my fucking mind.
So, when's your birthday?
I don't want to say.
You got to tell us.
It's on August 12th.
August 12th.
Yeah.
That is in the summertime.
It is in the summertime.
It is perfect to get you a slip and slide.
I don't need that. I'm fat. Like if I'm on a wet surface, it becomes a slip and slide.
Well, no, I'm just saying to match with your slip away.
No.
So you can,
I have seen the slip and slide beer drinking contest between two teams. Like you have your row of beer, and then there's a slip and slide, and each team has to go down their slip and slide and then chug the beer. And when you're done with it, the next person comes down. It's like baton racing, but with beer and slip and slides.
I saw that, but they had to do quarters into the beer first.
I didn't see the quarters
down
part
and
of
they
it.
had to quarters or beer pong or something,
Yeah.
and then they got to chug it. But yeah, same thing.
It seems like a pretty legit deal. I know. As far as events are concerned, though, I don't know why this brings me up, but if anybody from Oshkosh listens to this fucking podcast, put on a goddamn event so I can go to Pete's Garage.
Pete's Garage.
It's the best burger place you've ever been to.
I've never been there, so no, it's not.
It will be. If you ever go to Oshkosh with me.
Yeah, have you not been listening to Brian to any of our podcasts where he goes on about Pete's Garage?
So good.
Uh,
It's amazing.
been to Mooya?
No, you
No.
guys were going to take us there last night, but then we decided to go to Buffalo fucking Wild
I was
Wings.
fine with Mooya.
I was fine with it, too. The only problem is I didn't have
Oh.
beer.
Yeah, that was the problem.
It wasn't like
I don't
the
think I
main
would want to
reason.
go. I've been to Mooya. I don't really like it. It's like a expensive Five Guys.
Pretty much the
well,
same price as Five Guys.
Five Guys is
But
just
Five Guys is already expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's like a Five Guys, except you can get cheese on your burger as God intended. It has sweet potato fries, which are goddamn legitimate, and it has
Take 'em or leave 'em.
milkshakes. I don't like them necessarily better than good French fries, but sweet potato fries are good.
Yeah, I'd try it at least for sure, just because I'm a burger connoisseur.
Yeah.
I tried. I did have it. It was one of the times that we had the party at the Shays. No, it wasn't at the Shays. It was party at Brian's. At the
yeah.
Shays were there, so we decided to go out to the Muyas, and it was okay. It wasn't a bad burger. It was a really expensive burger for what I got.
Good burgers are really expensive.
That's what I felt like Five Guys was. I was like, I paid a pretty decent amount of money for this burger, and it doesn't taste like anything completely like crazy off the wall good. Like it just tastes like a burger. Like when I see their like news clippings and they say best in Seattle or best in New York, and I'm like, New York has a lack of innovation because that shit is not good.
Well, the thing is, it's significantly better. Like it's kind of like with steaks or pizzas or whatever, where you have your three tiers. You know,
Yeah.
you have your get it for a buck, your McDonald's, your
McDonald's steak, McSteak.
McDonald's
They'd be the
and
burger.
fucking Quick Trip. I went there at 5 o'clock today, and they only had one fucking burger.
burger at Quick Trip.
Because I was trying to get here quick, so I was like, I need
I've never
gas.
seen a burger at a.
I need gas, beer, and a
You get
cheeseburger.
the hot dogs on the rollers. You don't get a burger.
I just get a burger because you get two of them for $2 and it's quick, and they only had fucking
You
one.
get two hot dogs for $2.
God damn it.
Anyway, you got your cheapo dollar ones, like a McDonald's hamburger or a Little Caesars pizza. You know that are
Yeah, you
they're
got the cheap guys.
They
Cheap,
get
quick.
in there. It's
Yep.
good. It's good enough for the buck. You
It gets
spend.
in there and it goes out just as quick.
And then you got your mid-range stuff that's
like Culver's.
good. Yeah, like Culver's, or I'm even putting like, well, you got like your mid-range stuff like a Culver's, and I think that Five Guys, and then you've got like your good stuff, like your Iron Chef level, you know,
Yeah.
it's the greatest thing you've ever had in your life. And I think Five Guys and Mooya are like in between. They're like level
Yeah,
two
they're
and a
very
half of the
interstitial
three.
between the two.
Depending on day to day or the specific franchise you go to, it can be in that mid tier, or you can get a top tier.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you go to a good Five Guys, you eat that burger and you just want to die and go to heaven because nothing can ever be that good in life again.
That's how I feel about Pete's Garage.
Right.
And you know what?
And
It
I've
costs
had
half
that
as much.
before. I've been to multiple different Five Guys, and I've had that before. And I've also had, well, this is like a Whopper before.
Yeah.
And you're just
That's
never quite sure.
That's what I felt like when I went to the Ram over Gen Con and got the gargantuan burger.
You got rimmed?
I went to the
He
Ram.
got rammed and
The
rimmed.
Ram.
Yeah. Basically, I had to drink that shit water beer they were selling. But
The last time I went to the Ram, when we got there, they were just starting the extended edition of Lord of the Rings: Return of the King on their TVs.
Yeah.
When we got our food, it was the Scouring of the Shire.
yeah, that's
And
we
the
felt
first
that
food
same.
we got at the table was the ranch dressing that was spilled down somebody's back.
Or no, that wasn't at the Ram we had that happen. That was at Scotty's is where we had the super long wait. And then they were like, I don't know what an MGD is. And I'm like, you poor girl. This is so sad. But
I don't know what an MGD is.
yeah, I was surprised. She must have been new and on straight edge. I don't know.
whatever. Anyway, yeah.
So you said you had a War Machine topic, kind of.
Yeah.
Did I? No.
You were talking about list building.
No, now you're forcing a subject.
I was just saying, you said I have a topic.
No, we don't have to force the topic, but natural conversation, segue. I was thinking about list building.
Yeah.
So, segue. What was that, Andy?
Oh, yeah. I was talking about... so, I haven't played games in a while. And one of the reasons why I haven't played games in a while is I would open up War Room, and I would just stare at my casters. And for some odd reason, I had no creative juices at all in me to try to make a list. I had all my lists built previously that have been tried and true. I've done well with those lists, but I wanted to try something new, but I just could not. I could not put the puzzle pieces together, and it frustrated me. So I opened up a request out to Facebook, and I got a couple of folks to send me a list. I think Nigel actually tried trolling me with the list, but I got a couple lists sent from there, and that literally just changed my whole outlook. I suddenly became very invigorated to go down and play on Wednesday, which I did. And it was fun.
Yeah, because it seems like when it comes to list building, there are three, to split them up in Nathan fashion. There are three different types of approaches you have to list building. You either carbon copy something that somebody's had success with, and you just play that. Then there's also creating your own. On the opposite side of the spectrum, there's creating your own list out of nowhere. That's just like, this is my brainchild, and I decide to run P. Morvana with a Sacrovault and some bullshit. And then there's the in-between is more like taking someone's list that someone's built and kind of editing it.
And making it your own.
So you're tweaking it a little bit. And sometimes you can do that from like the far stage of like, I feel like taking EE and removing the third Pyre Troll and adding in a fourth Storm Troll is probably the better way to play it, but I just don't feel like committing to buying a fourth fucking Storm Troll. But Slag Trolls I'll have 4 of. But at any rate, it seems like that's kind of the spectrum it falls into, but I also think that with War Machine, you can get a little bit of stagnant. You can get a stagnant feeling when you're trying to build lists because the releases, you get really excited for them when you hear about them, but by the time they hit the street and you're able to play them in events, because I don't know how many other people are like this, but I don't play a model unless it's released, because unless I'm like testing it out and I actually have the physical model like the Glacier King.
Sure.
But I don't feel like there's a reason for me to play it so much when I'm not able to play it in a steamroller like next week or something, you know?
It feels odd when you do that, yeah.
And that can kind of be like a cock tease where you get like your Electromancers and you're really excited to see what they do and change the Retribution game, but then 6 or 7 months later down the road, that's when you actually get them and you're like, I've already brainstormed these lists and was excited about them forever ago, and now I'm just not excited about them anymore. So I think that's like where a lot of the fatigue comes from in list building. Plus, like, it seems like there's a whole culture of people who like to try and like play the sus card or the special snowflake people card, where that's kind of like frowned upon in some circles, and I think that can turn some people off. But definitely having other people start some list building like dojo for you, and then going into like making it your own. It's really easy to take something someone else has made and make it your own. So I think that what you stumbled upon really like is one of the good ways to break that iceberg.
Yeah, the main thing I don't like doing is I don't like theory crafting. I don't like sitting around talking about like how it sounds counterintuitive for what I'm trying to do here,
right.
But I don't like theory crafting. It's just we're going to sit there and talk about what lists do good against what lists forever.
Yeah.
I want to just kind of build a list, get down and play, and then modify it in my own.
An analogy that came to me one time in the middle of a conversation, and I was very proud of it because it was one of my better analogies. We was talking on the Something Awful forums one time about net decking and its place in hobbies like this, and then player skill versus net decking and stuff like that. And
I was going to say something smart about net decking to annoy other people, but I decided not to.
Well, it's Nathan net decking, the real net decking, and not Muse on Mini's net decking, where it's just cock blocking someone.
Oh yeah.
Sure. I want to know I don't listen to Muse.
No, well, that's fine.
I don't listen to podcasts.
High quality
People who listen to podcasts.
Ooh, somebody did just say that Catbug Brian likes Mass Effect 3.
He does. I mean, like, that's why we like him.
I don't know.
He's closer
Seems
to me
violently
now.
disagree.
I don't know. The big reason why Brian sits next to you and Andy, or in between you and Andy instead of between you and me, is because I think he fears going to jail if I mention Mass Effect 3 because he would murder me if I was
you're right
accessible.
about that.
God, can I get you a Mass Effect 3 T-shirt too?
Yeah, if you can find one that fits my fat ass.
You don't wear T-shirts on your ass, Brian.
Well, I mean, my
having
fat ass
issues
as a
here.
whole.
You just put them on upside down, and your balls just dangle through the neck hole.
I know my whole dick does too. Just 'cause
It is a video game T-shirt,
yeah.
so they have.
I don't know.
your
It
size.
seems like the XL is like 5 years ago was like the very pinnacle of how big a gamer shirt would be, or band shirts. And then they said, okay, fat people, double X, here you go. But then it's like now I think like a lot of people who want to like represent that stuff are a lot. I don't know. I guess I could go into a long rant about how I think the people who are fat and nerdy probably make a decent amount of money, so they don't mind paying the extra like price tag on the 4X shirt. But you can't fucking get them because people don't make them.
Sure. Anyway, so with net decking and player skill, was that you can look at a list like a recipe. Like a food recipe. And you can go on food.com and you can download Julia Child's recipe for something and you can follow it exactly. And depending on how good of a cook you are, it can turn out terrible. Or you can get creative and make up your own recipe with spices around the house and everything. And depending on how good cook you are, it could turn out amazing. And sometimes you take one that they already have and you experiment and you take out ingredient A and you put in ingredient B, and it's the same way. I mean, it's the list is just that same way. And like you were saying with theory crafting, you know, it's fun exercise to do, but also with recipes, I can theory craft that a pickle and a watermelon in this salad should complement each other when I have them with this grilled salmon. But until you actually try it and put it on the table, ironically true in either case, you don't really know for sure. And then once you try it for the first time, then you're like, oh, it needs a little more dill, needs a little less this, needs that, and you can experiment and you can polish it up.
Yeah.
And it's the same way with lists.
Yeah, I guess the main thing I was just really stumped on is I had the two to three casters that I was solid on, and I wanted to expand out. I didn't really have any type of direction to even expand out. Like Ron, I have down. Ron, I can play Ron in my sleep. Sometimes I do.
Well, and sometimes
It's 2 to 3 favorite recipes.
Hammer.
You make the same meal every you know. I always make the same grilled cheese and soup for dinner every day, and it gets my tummy full, and that's it. You got no drive to, and then.
Like I don't know. Do I want to put a little pesto in there or something?
And like we were talking about with the thing is like you say I ate the same thing for dinner and you put it out there and somebody said, well, try doing this, and you do it and you're like, all right, thanks, you broke me out of my groove, and it gets the creative juices flowing again. You know, it's any creative process that's going to be the case. You'll stagnate.
Yep.
Yeah, sometimes when you like feel like with you and Ron, where you feel like you've hit your stride with him and you know him really well, sometimes you can get stuck in that rut, I guess, where like you play him this way, and if you try to modify him at all, you're like, okay, this isn't working. So instead of changing that list, you just go back to what you have normally.
Yeah,
I think it's a real big like leap to try and get out of that, going back to the beginning.
And
you have to keep
experiment. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because that's a lot of Trollcasters are that way, where you take XX and X and then season to flavor. There's no real like complete infrastructure change. It's always like you take the skeleton and then you work off of it from there. You might end up with a human skeleton, you might end up with a monkey skeleton, but at the most part they're still the same thing. They've got a rib cage and skulls and spine.
And sometimes you need to experiment from a different direction. You know, like just now talking on this topic with a previous topic is that, you know, maybe I should stop taking some of my casters right now and seeing what'll work with them, and maybe I should take just Rorschenbrine.
Yeah.
And see what I can build around them.
Around them, yep.
You know, and if I make them, instead of looking at these casters and saying, well, what does Carver do best? I can look at Rorsch and say, who does the best stuff for him?
Yep.
And build from the opposite direction. You know?
Yeah, building from the top down isn't always the best in War Machine. Sometimes you have to go the other way. I think a lot of people might frame Mulg that way if they're not, and that's probably why Doomshaper always gets Mulg when you're talking about troll players, because you build from which caster works Mulg the best, and it really is a tie between Doomshaper 1 and 2 now. Now I would kind of say it's more like 2 and 3 might have the upper hand.
It's just Doom Shaper.
Doom Shaper.
Doom Shaper in general.
One doesn't have the affinity, so...
No, he does.
Yeah,
but
they
well,
all
he
do.
doesn't
They
have
all
the...
trigger it.
They all trigger.
Sorry, yeah, I was going backwards. Whatever the thing... no, but I guess that's not just Mulg.
He doesn't...
Doom Shaper 2's thing where he gets a free Dire Troll Animus.
Yeah, he gets a free Dire
Yeah,
Troll
and
Animus
actually
every turn.
Mulg isn't even necessarily the best Animus you'd use for that.
No,
Although I
I'd
think
probably
Mulg's
put-
Animus is underused on
because
Warlocks.
he's got the Earthborn Animus on him most of the time.
Not
anyways.
on him, on
Oh,
Warlocks.
on Warlocks. Yeah, well,
On something with a decent command range, like, you know.
like Madrax or Tens.
Yeah.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, you put that thing up and it's like baller.
Yeah, Madrak 1 with Mulg is really scary.
And
when
people
you think
use
about
it so rarely,
Runebreaker.
I think you could really fuck people over with Runebreaker because they'll be like, wait,
Yeah,
what does
Mulg
it do?
has an Animus. It's
Yeah.
not Earthborn.
Yeah, you'll have like nationals level people that will be like, his Animus does what? I never see it.
His Animus is probably where 2 good points of him come from.
Yeah.
I use his Animus a pretty decent deal too. Not just the Earthborn. In fact, I was talking. I think it was maybe with Jim about this. It was like I rarely use the Earthborn Animus on Mulg. I mean, I didn't lose him all the time, but
Yeah.
I mean, I ended up using his Earthbreaker. Or
Stacking
Runebreaker, that is.
Stacking that survivability. The Earthborn Animus existing, I'm still surprised they gave the faction walls on a stick.
Yeah,
Like, Janessa just makes... Oh, why does she exist?
Yeah, she makes it pretty egregious. And then, like, when you stack her with, like, Kalandra, you know, if you try and chip away at some of the lights in the EE list, or if you're just playing Kalandra out of tier without a Doom Shaper, like, getting Janessa with her is ridiculous because she's defense 14, goes up to 18 behind a wall with Starcrossed. You are not hitting her unless you knock her down.
Thank God.
You know what you might hit her with?
A Wrecking Ball?
Bushwhackers from far away. Just that 11-man CRA.
Yeah, and because if
And
they run
if they
up
were
their
tied
lights to tie you up, then
they
you can
run
just
up-
slip away around them, right? Yeah.
They tie you up,
Damn you.
and you just slip away, laser beam Janessa,
It feels like-
lob an AoE, blow some shit up.
When I think of like one pig bushwhacker shouting out like, it's slip away time, guys, get out the fucking body oil, and then they pull it out of their little pocket. They're like, they move their ham over and their bullets and their knives, and they get this nice little scented lotion bottle, and they start squirting and rubbing all over them, and then they're just like, woo, and then then slip through other
Maybe
guys'
they just
hands.
rub the ham on them.
That could be it
Just,
too.
you know, because ham, like when it comes out of the can, has that stuff on it.
the jelly.
gelatin?
The jelly.
I'd like
So maybe it's
sardines.
ham
Oh my
jelly.
god, sardine jelly! Just I
There's-
keep on when I mention it, I just like ugh.
It's like chewing on tinfoil.
No, not just like jelly. Like I used to work at a pizza place when I was younger, and you'd have to like
said that.
clear the sardine of the jelly, and it was just gross. It smelled like sardines for a week.
So
I'm getting the chills right now because when I was a kid, I used to chew on my shirt. You know,
Yeah.
I'd do that.
Uh-huh.
And knit, like sweaters, have a particularly terrifying texture to them when you chew on those. So just so you know, don't chew on a sweater.
My brother's the same way
oh
with
god,
cotton
I'm
balls.
fucking witty
Like,
right now.
he had to go to the doctor when he was younger to get like the earwax like squeezed and syringed out of his ear because he refused to use cotton swabs because he hated cotton with a passion.
Oh, cotton swabs.
Yeah.
If sex for women feels half as good as using a cotton swab feels to me, lucky them. Because man, is it sometimes like it's like, oh, that's good, but some mornings you
that
get the
spot.
cotton swab in there, and I'll be there for like 5 minutes, just like, oh, this feels so good.
I know, like, a lot of people, they'll sit there and itch their ears with cotton swabs, so you start to build up scar tissue. So, like, when you do get that, like, this feels good feeling, it's either, I'm pretty sure it's either because the nerves haven't been exposed to a lot of touch, so they're really sensitive, or there's some scar tissue and itching. It is actually, you know, it feels good that way. You're getting some relief out of some itching.
No, I think occasionally God just wants you to feel good, and He makes your ears extra fun.
Sure thing. It's fine. Sometimes God hates you and gives your UA slip away.
you know what this feels like? This really, really feels like the Legion cast. It feels like that you are Jeremy right now.
Oh,
No.
And
Voice of
no,
reason.
you're arguing that Proteus is shit.
No, I
and
took
we're giving
the-
you good reasons why Proteus is
I took
amazing.
the Crippled System Facebook quiz. I'm Brian. I am not Jeremy. I want to make that perfectly fucking clear.
oh, so good.
When I was talking to Amanda once about maybe you should come on the cast once and just talk as a lady wargamer, and then I was like, no, Because then that would just draw another parallel between me and Jeremy. And I just don't want that. I don't want to be the Jeremy replacement.
Just people coming in with their super competent wives.
Well, the thing is that I'm so competent that she, like...
That's what
maybe
Jeremy
she's
says, too.
Oh, fuck you. I'm done with this cast. I'm going home. I'm going to finish my beer because it's here. And until then, kiss my ass. Fuck you guys.
I mean, that is exactly what he says.
God damn it! I miss Jeremy.
I would like to spend more time with him one of these days.
Yeah. Katie will let him out of the house eventually.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Maybe when she finds a new job.
Yeah. There's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, I mean, it'll eventually get there, sure, but
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
What are we talking about? Yeah, let's stagnation. Oh, I wrote something because before with burgers distracted me. Something that occurred
I thought
to
you were
me.
going to say burrowers, and I was just like,
Burrowers.
fuck you so hard.
This will maybe make you happy.
Burrowers would be really good with Slipaway.
They
Well,
would.
here's the thing. This conversation, you know what's good with Slipaway? Bushwhackers. No, there's what the conversation made me think about. Imagine, I mean, it's kind of like a Highlander, not Highlander. Yeah, it is a Highlander. No, Frankenstein food machine. This is like a food machine style thing.
Oh, I was thinking of your
UA
I
swap.
Frankenstein.
UA swap.
We got a timer on our chest that counts down.
Yes. No, it counts up to what percentage
Alive
back alive you
you
are.
are, yes.
This corpse is 87% of the way back to being alive. That movie was amazing. I feel bad for the two other people in the theater when we saw it. They were not amused by us.
No.
But no, a UA swap.
Okay. Well, like a Who's the Boss style?
Yeah, but like, you know, you get one UA in your list. Like, you could even be pre-list build, but like every list, just standard list, but you can get one UA from any other faction on whatever the hell unit in your list you want to throw it onto. Terms that speak to their unit would speak to the new unit, obviously.
I'm thinking of like Iron Zeal Warders. Oh my god, so good.
Or Warders with Swiftaway.
Fuck you. No, they can't even make it past the base.
What?
They can't. They're speed 4.
What? You can make it past a small base.
Yeah, small base, sure. Yeah, if
They can slip away in charge.
God, no, just not.
Slip away in charge.
No,
What about slip away on Kayazi?
they don't need it.
What? Kayazi basically have slip away as a mini feed, and it's really good.
Except that I
So
think
you're saying you hate Kayazi?
No,
Because they really make good use of
Well, they would
slip-away.
lose the underboss if they took the...
that's because
UA.
they don't shoot you from 18 inches away.
Neither do bushwhackers if they're tied up.
And neither do Kayazi.
If
Yeah.
your bushwhackers are tied up, you've made a terrible mistake
But
during the
thank
game.
God slip-away's there to save you.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like the whole faction of Cricks. You make a mistake, and it's there to fix it. So now Trollbloods is like Cricks because we have dummy buttons like
Yeah.
Slipaway on our pig unit.
Slip-away bushwhackers are basically purging bile thralls.
Yeah, basically, it's the same thing. Yeah.
Same thing.
If at first you don't succeed on wiping their whole army, you can try at least 5 more times. Maybe 6 if you have Excarnate.
Excarnate on a troll would be pretty cool.
That's not on a UA, though.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah.
Excarnate Calandra, Calandra. There we go.
Speaking of...
It's automatically the monolith bearer. What other...
Pop a guy, get a warder.
Super good UAs.
Oh, yeah, the Monolith Bear is probably... He's really up there as far as, like, UAs you won't see the Zealots taken without.
I have a good one. Iris 3.
Yeah, Iris 3 is good.
But she does have contention with with their other commander, too. Like, there's
Well,
definitely...
the other
No, but
commander's
putting
really
her
good.
on other, like, you know,
Oh, yeah.
taking her on, like, a Crix unit, like throwing her on Bane Knights or something. You know,
yeah,
that's the point.
that would be a big deal.
I'm going to view a card here because I'm curious about something. Is if the Gun Mage Pistolier Captain is a Jack Marshal or if just the unit is a Jack Marshal. Because if you could put that fucker on a different unit and bring Jack Marshal with rune shots into, like, you know, other factions, that would be kind of funny.
If he's... it might be that he might have the Jack Marshall trait,
I think he
too.
does.
But I know the unit in general does.
Yeah, I know that, but
But if he has
also
it,
has it...
because I think he would have to be... He has to be alive to give the rune shot to the Jack. I know that much, because if you scalpel him out, then it's fucked.
Oh, yeah, under A for Arcane Tempest Gun Mage, not under G for Gun Mage.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he's a Marshal.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That works for me.
Yeah, I'd trade the drive to do that, sure. I'll bring in Jack and
Giving
Horde's
True
army.
Sight and Jack Marshall, and of course the Jack Marshall with Rune Shot to any random unit. That could
Like
be
a
interesting.
Leviathan or something.
Yeah.
God, Leviathans are so good. I don't know why people don't use them.
I think when Denegra 3 starts getting like some real table time, I think you're going to see like the triple Leviathan list with her, because 1 soul for 3 focus is just ridiculous.
I usually took at least 1 Leviathan, maybe 2 with my Gorshade list.
Well,
least.
a Leviathan dry humping more Tenebra was also always
Yeah,
a
because you
legit
just,
thing,
like,
because
you
Leviathan
burn a
with
stack
7
on it.
focus is also good.
Exactly. Or Yogurt, Iacos. He runs Leviathans just fine too. I mean, like, they don't need any help.
Psycho,
I just call him Yogurt
Shakamafina.
because that's how I work it. I think this is the second time you've tried to rap battle someone and that person's lost horribly.
Yeah, yesterday it was Travis.
Yeah, and he had a running chance at that one because it was MC Chris.
Yeah.
So, but you started in the part where everybody's like, "Oh yeah, the Boba Fett song's really cool," but I don't know shit about it other than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't recognize anything until you got to my backpack.
Yeah, you're like, my backpack? Are you talking about a backpack or a Corvette? You're like, I'm Boba the Fett.
Yeah.
He has a new-ish album out. I think it might have been like last year or last 2 years, but I think it's MC Chris is back, because it was MC Chris is dead and now it's MC Chris is back.
Yeah.
So I think that was 2010. But Spotify is the only way I really learn about new music. So
Yep. Silence. There was a
List
lot of
stagnation.
list stagnation. We just did interpretive radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On what happens when you try to build a list when you don't have any ideas. So we just bringing it full circle so
Yeah.
that the audience can experience it.
No, I'm excited now. I mean, the only thing is now I need to go buy more models.
Well, and with Thyron being available too, that opens up some design space for Rhett too. Like, if you haven't touched anything since Thyron had hit, like that. I played against a Thyron list and made horrible mistakes, but it was really interesting to see how people were utilizing him differently.
Speaking of which, it's Thyron, not Tyrone.
No, it's not Tyrone.
Fuck you.
Yeah, I'm sorry you can't speak English and put together words that make sounds in appropriate ways, but it is not Tyrone. It's Thyron.
Yeah, I was pairing him with Ron, and I would just call him the Rons.
Yeah.
It'd be Thyron.
And
Ron.
Ron.
The Ron and Thyron.
I'll always just call him Ronald McDonald, and I think that's what really pisses my Retribution opponents off. I'm like, oh, Ronald McDonald's coming to town.
I did hear somebody say that he should just be called Gareth too.
That was the other.
He really is.
When
It seems like a polished version of what Gareth was going for.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was staring at my war room, that was the caster I was really wanting to try to build a list. And then I'm sitting there going, it's like, well, his theme force has got, but I don't want to play super 5 million mage hunters. It just
that is a problem. The Doom Reaver and Runes of War and EE stuff has really opened up how many other things can I spam and make an interesting use of. Like, I saw that as soon as the Chromac 2 theme force got spoiled, everybody and their uncle was trying to say, let's try and run Chromac with 12 lights and see what happens. And it's ridiculous that seems to be the flavor, but I understand why it is, and why 40k was the breeding ground for spam, because the more of one thing you had, the better your dice were, because you could average it out over a lot of them. And in War Machine, it kind of feels the same way, where if you throw a lot of good stuff at your opponent, it's really hard to answer. So the spam environment's the good environment. But I think the well-rounded list will eventually make a comeback. But as soon as you start seeing 30 Bane Knights in your meta, it's dangerous. That stuff's crazy.
well, that's how it was in Mark 1. Basically, near the end of Mark 1 was, when Brian was popping 30 Banes, 30 Bile Thralls for his lists. The points, when they updated all the points, though, they made it a little less feasible to have now. But
Throbby?
yeah, I don't know.
Oh, instead of Thyron?
Throbby.
Call him Throbby.
Yeah, a lot of
Probably a
people call him the
penis
Beetle
reference.
Warrior as well, too, because he looks
Remember the
like...
big bad Beetleborgs?
Yeah, that's what people call him as well.
That makes an interesting conversion idea that I didn't think at first that he looked very Beetle-ish, but there is the Kingdom Death, as much as we've talked about it over I think on the 6-pack we did. But Kingdom Death has a Beetle Knight, That could be used as some neat conversion parts if you want to bulk Thyron up a little bit if he's not bulky enough for you.
He's a medium base model. He looks like he should be a small base, but he's a big boy.
Yeah, it really does throw the scale on Retribution off a little bit. I would like to see them get some medium-based infantry eventually.
Yeah,
but
he works like an assassin, but he's difficult to hide. I found that out in my game against Jason.
Well, that's where I whiffed it in the 6-pack because I had charged Mulg at some guys to try and goad into him because I knew I could see him. I could swing over the halberdiers that were in front of him, so it wasn't like a big deal for me. But that I came up an inch short. I'm over it though.
You can mod him to be the Guyver.
The Guyver?
The Guyver.
I just know MacGyver.
No.
MacGruber?
No, the Guyver.
Nah, I don't.
Mark Hamill's 4th best character.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I know what you're talking about. It's a bad movie.
Fuck you.
It's a bad movie.
Fuck you.
It's a bad movie.
Catbug, what do you think?
It's shitty.
Ah.
I'm sorry. I guess I'm just like, I talked about wonderful movies too much yesterday, and now I really have this bug to watch every single Puppet Master movie that I can get my hands on.
You're going to badmouth the Guyver, but you're going to watch every Puppet
Because it's
Master movie?
amazing up until you started having, like, Corey Taylor in them. Then it gets really bad.
You haven't even seen the Guyver.
No, but I don't need to know that Puppet Master is infinitely better.
Not infinitely.
Infinitely. It's got...
Infinite's a big number.
6-shooter was my man. Okay? He was amazing. He was my... Like, everybody's got their... I think everybody who watches Puppet Master has their puppet that they liked a lot. And for me, it was 6-shooter.
I like the Ghoulies.
Yeah, well...
I like Critters better.
Well, of course, Critters is better. Well, and Critters 2 perfected the Critters franchise, but...
They have weapons. Fuck. Yeah. Oh, my God. I haven't seen that movie in such a long time.
Ghoulies was the one where the little, like, goblin things or little, like, monsters were in the funhouse, right? That movie's really good, too.
Yeah.
I won't deny
toilet.
that. Yeah, the toilet monster, yep.
I would say that this is probably... We're talking about movies again, but, man, I love talking about movies. I think it's an unsung movie, is The Gate.
Yeah, absolutely. The Gate's great.
The original Gate movie.
I love the little edit they have it's a shot of the little monsters running around, and somebody edited not Steve Buscemi's, who's the one from the Amazon Fire Stick commercials now? The crazy shouty guy.
Oh, Gary Busey?
Gary Busey. They edited Gary Busey's head onto all the little guys running around. It's like, ah! It's great.
That movie actually really scared me back when it came out. I just like the premise of it.
I had to look this up because this is probably the most underrated fun movie that I've ever seen. And if you were ever into Dance Dance Revolution, you need to watch it. It's on Amazon, right? It's on Amazon. You can just buy it for like $3. It's called the FP.
Didn't we talk about this last week?
I don't. I wasn't here last week for it. So if you guys magically talked about the FP, then I give kudos to whoever brought it up.
Yeah, where's the link to this? I can add that as a picture into the bottom.
All I did was
is that an image?
All I did was Google search Gary Busey The Gate, and it's just the first result under the images.
All right.
Yeah, it's good times.
The FP is like, it's underground dance. Oh, Jesus Christ. I was like trying to like finish that thought, and then you showed me this GIF, and I'm just like, fuck me.
The one going up out of the ground.
Gary Busey just like fills your life with wonderment.
Did you ever watch I'm with Busey? I know Andy did.
That show is
I'm with
amazing.
Busey?
No, I didn't. I think the last thing I watched with Gary Busey was like the MTV like Celebrity Weight Loss Challenge or whatever they had with him.
This was a show they had on Cartoon Network.
No, it was Comedy Central.
I meant to say Comedy Central, sorry. It was on Comedy Central, and all it was just a random guy, like you, just a dude. He wasn't any, like, he...
No, he's the guy who did, he eventually went on to do...
Well, went on to.
Well, yeah, but the animated 8-bit cartoon show.
Code Monkeys?
Code Monkeys, yeah.
Which was amazing. I'm really sad
that was
it only
him.
Lasted 2 seasons.
Hey, at least we got 2 seasons out of it.
Cock Goblin.
Anyway, the whole thing was just
It's got
him.
Dana Carvey, and he's amazing.
It was just him and Gary Busey just hanging out and doing stuff.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Not scripted or anything. They would just go to the carnival. And it was just, he would just film himself and Gary Busey going to the carnival. And you don't need a script when you just take Gary Busey and go places with him.
Yeah, that you don't. He is a mystical person.
Him and Bjork are two of the most magical people. Like, they're proof to me that there's fey creatures and they disguise themselves as humans. Because Bjork is an elf princess of some kind. And Gary Busey is like a goblin who doesn't understand human behavior quite enough.
Yeah.
But he's the best they got. So they disguised him and sent him out. Like, he got the closest.
That needs to...
Just put the GIF up in the middle of the stream. I didn't know you could do that. Special guest host, Gary Busey.
Speaking of special guest hosts, I'm going to reel it back to the FP. It's like Kung Fury for Dance Dance Revolution. You got to watch it.
Kung Fury.
And speaking of Kung Fury, though, that guy's the Kung Fury is going to be at Gamehole Con.
Nice.
Yeah. The guy who played him, at least.
Yeah. They
That's
did
a documentary.
They did a special thing for Gamehole Con as well.
Yeah, they'll be there too. So if you're on the fence about it, somehow we're not going to be able to make it through a serious anything with that on the screen.
Sure we will. I already pulled up Twitter. I found tweets on the Twitter.
So we're going to be zappeting those grumbles?
Well, eventually we can. The first three are all from the same guy.
Oh, and of course, I
I
thought Andy was going to block
50 of them
everybody
this time.
else out but him and keep double Gary Busey up on the screen.
I have introduced something magical to Andy's life.
It's so fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be Andy's avatar for the rest of his life.
If that could be the screensaver on my TV whenever I wasn't using it, instead of
should try
turning
it.
off, it just goes to that.
I would like that on my computer at work.
I said, the internet is a stupid, weird place, but sometimes I'm just so glad it exists.
Yeah, there's a big layer of shit you have to get through before you find this kind of stuff.
But you find this stuff.
But when
and
you
you're
do...
like, thank you.
Yeah, thank
the
you,
internet. Thank you, whatever random stoned weirdo decided, I'm going to Photoshop Gary Busey's face onto the monsters from the gate and put it on the internet.
Yep.
Oh my god, that is so good.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
You just can't get rid of it.
Just back in
I
the
can't
corner
get rid
there.
of it, but I'm going to put it up here.
So it'll look like it's a painting that you have.
Yeah.
Just right up there.
It's like one of those weird things you get at Hot Topic.
And actually, we could have it there for every single podcast now.
Just up in the corner. Yeah, isn't that weird, Cat Bug?
Yeah. Some fucked up shit.
Wow.
Whenever you're down,
Gary Busey
Gary
picks you up.
Busey, yep.
So Zappity Grumbles. Oh, thank you, Gary Busey. I have the Twitter. Green asks several things, first of which is, who will show me the best time as I come to your neck of the woods for Gamehole Con Green?
I'm going to say, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I can show you some pretty cool stuff. I tried to pawn some heroin off on Travis the other day. It didn't work out so well for me, but
Travis
show
had a
like
kid.
Wonder
You don't want
Woman.
him to have heroin.
No, but he could probably do something with it that would be interesting.
Anybody needs to do heroin here, that's me. I need to lose weight.
Have you played the Dune board game?
No, I haven't.
So there is a card in the Dune board game. The battle mechanic includes heroes. And if you're in battle, there's a chance you will die or be a traitor and fuck over the whole battle. So to prevent that from happening, there is a card, and you have to play a hero every battle. It's not optional.
Yeah.
And so to prevent that from happening, you can play the cheap hero card, which he's garbage, he's single use, but you know he's not a traitor, and if he dies, you don't care. He was an expendable card. Mm-hmm. And there's 3 of them in the deck, but in the interest of gender neutrality, there is a cheap hero, there is a cheap hero, and there is the cheap heroine. So it's always endless amusement that one of the cards you can get in the deck is cheap heroin.
Yeah, that's usually not the stuff you want to use, but no, I do. I think there was a really long stint where all my friends were getting to the age where they were getting married, just like amazing. There's so many getting married, and I would always that too, but
To heroin?
They would always ask me to go out for their bachelor party, and usually they'd sit around and play games all day until I showed up, and then I was able to take them out and show them a really good time. That's kind of, I feel like I'm a party guy. I could do it. Just rip my pants off. I like to party. Mm-hmm. What's up?
I've been in a prison riot.
That would be interesting. I haven't been there.
Yeah. Jail-ish. So, Non-Utility and Nick obviously didn't listen last episode because we had like a 20-minute topic that consisted entirely of what movie screwed us up as a child.
Yeah. Mine was Conan the Barbarian.
Mine was Alien and Poltergeist 2.
It didn't screw my childhood, but it kind of set the tone for the rest of my life, was Lost Boys.
I think that was actually somebody else had that too. Yeah. I think it was Ben.
Well, the Lost Boys drinking game is good because it's a simple one. See, the problem with drinking games you find online is they'll have like 57 rules, and that's too much.
Yeah,
shit
you got to
to
keep track of it.
You need one, maybe two things, and it has to blitz you but not kill you. Mm-hmm. And the Lost Boys one is good because it's just, what's the main character's name? David? Is it David?
I have no fucking clue. I think that's part of it.
But whatever. The point is just they're apparently allergic to pronouns in that script.
Yeah.
So all it is just take a drink every time somebody says
a proper
David,
noun, yeah.
or what, well, just the main character's name.
Okay.
Because his name is said like 70 times in that movie.
I think you have to do that, though, when they're like in a biker gang, though. You have to refer to people as their proper name because or their whatever adopted name they've taken. Like, I knew a guy named Taker. He was really scary. But there's so many of them that you can't, you have to refer to them.
This is like Rick and Morty style, where Rick says Morty literally every sentence, sometimes 2 or 3 times per sentence.
But isn't that like a Doc Brown thing, though, that carried over?
It might be.
Like Marty, you hear that and you know it's Doc Brown.
Oh, that was you. Jesus, that was such a flawless impression. For a second, I thought Christopher Lloyd was in the room.
Well, I try to do the best I can.
That
but
was amazing.
If you want to book me for your parties, you can call me at 1-800-GO-FUCK-YOURSELF.
If Green wants a Christopher Lloyd impersonator, you do show the best time.
Exactly. Yep, best time ever.
What? That. I know. Every once I look at the screen and I just see that.
But it's not there when you look, and it fucks you up.
Right here. This is the beauty. I hope I got that right. So Brian is our answer. Zappity, if you could be an animal, what would you be?
An animal?
An animal.
I'm going to steal it from you.
Okay.
I'm penguin.
Oh, penguins.
No.
Pangolin.
Pangolin.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking
I was going to steal pangolin from you. Oh, man, I think I got it fucking exactly right. I was pretty good. Oh, it lines up with there and there.
I like a pangolin. I think I discovered this. You knew about it before I did, or maybe we discovered it around the same time. But man, those animals are fucking amazing.
We maybe discovered it like a week apart, but I discovered it from you because Borderlands 2 has the pangolin shields.
Yep.
It's the pangolin brand shield, and I thought that was a mythical creature.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no.
That's how recently I found out about pangolins, was that I thought they were a mythical creature on there that I had never heard of before.
Yeah.
And I yeah, they're real. I'm like, what? Yeah, they're totally real.
They're awesome. They're
awesome.
They're just an anteater that has a ridiculously cool looking shell. They walk
like
on
plate
2
metal.
legs. Yeah. They look awesome. I'd be endangered, so then I would be protected.
Yeah, a red panda.
Oh.
And then everybody would want me as a pet, and they'd scritch my tum-tum.
Yep, that'd be pretty good. I'd be something that could fly. I've never really put a lot of thought to it.
Yeah, I almost said bat, but
that was actually where I was going to go, and then I realized, like, they're nocturnal. They sleep in big crowds, which I don't like. I don't know. I think I'd probably be a pterodactyl. Let's do that. I'll be a pterodactyl.
I didn't know we could choose ones that weren't around anymore.
It's an animal.
Well, it was an animal. If I can choose things that are dead.
If you could be any animal, any was the modifier.
They didn't even say it had to be real?
They said any.
Well,
you
Godzilla.
could be okay, sure. He's an animal.
Yes.
I had to turn it off. I think it was actually messing with the internet connection. Or something's happening with our internet connection.
Why?
I don't know. It started chopping.
Did you turn your porn computer on?
No. It's like dropping. I don't know why it's dropping right now. It's dropping really bad.
Yeah. Zappity.
Yeah,
You
grumble.
find out you have 1 week to live. What do? You can't break any laws. What the fuck's the point?
Yeah. You just have to live your life normally. Because, like, if I can't break any laws, it means I can't steal money to go do the things that I want to do. Because off my bank account right now, I could not live my life's fullest dreams.
You could write checks.
How am I under law? Like,
Yeah,
I can't even,
but
like,
I can't
pee
break
off the
laws.
Sears Tower?
And I think that bouncing a check is illegal.
Well, you could post state checks.
I guess it depends on how you frame laws, because law could be like, is it the law of the state, or is it the law or a rule of the bank or something? And I don't know, but I think I'd probably just travel and
you could
spend time with people.
Yeah, you could redirect your funds in that, but you could pull out a loan.
Yeah, you could pull out a loan. That would work. I'd pull out one of those payday loans that pays like 180% insurance or interest.
Yeah, you could go to like a series. You'd have to hit them like really fast.
Yeah, so they didn't report right away.
Yep.
I'd probably travel to Scotland. That's where I'd want to go. I really want to go to Scotland.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't even live a week now without breaking a law. I don't know.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I guess I would probably go spend it with family.
Well, I'd bring my family to Scotland. How's that sound?
I guess if I cheated the payday loan thing, or if I magically have infinite money for my final 2 weeks thing, I would go into space.
Yeah, if you could afford to go into space.
And then I'd jump out.
Yeah, just get it done.
Would that be against the law?
Well, I'd mostly just be curious what it's like to
get spaced.
be in space.
To be like Commander Shepard.
Yeah, I'm just curious what it would feel like to have
your whole body torn apart, imploded.
What? So that's what happens at the end of Mass Effect 3?
No, it's the beginning of Mass Effect 2. Like
I didn't. I played 40 minutes of Mass Effect 1. I was done.
Well, then you're just terrible for that. But
I do know that you're supposed to exhale, ironically, do not inhale.
Yeah, because then that'll make more pressure. Right?
Yeah, the pressure is the danger, not the suffocation.
Yeah.
So it's better to exhale and just have like 10 seconds out there than to inhale to get 30, because you won't live the 30 due to the pressure.
Yeah, it's like clenching your butt cheeks before you dive 50 feet into the water.
But you are supposed to do that.
No, it's like, you're supposed to do it. You're not supposed to go like loose butt and then just
people normally, like, is it counterintuitive? Like, I expected that I was supposed to just goatsy it up on my way down?
Some people might. You never know how they're going to splash into the water.
That's my new answer.
You're
gonna goatsy cliff dive with my mouth open just to see if it makes it.
Just to see,
just see if it just shoots out like
a fountain.
Can you imagine being the people on the side just see that and like all intestines then too?
Yep, you reverse poop. Zappity.
Grum.
Tort says he wants a regular Nathan as a pet, and I would scratch his tum-tum.
My tum-tum. What's your favorite rock opera?
The Genetic Opera, I think.
Yeah,
I haven't seen many, so I think that's about as good as I can get.
Here's the thing, though: isn't there dialogue in that?
It does. It kind of.
It's technically a musical, not an opera, right?
Well, what about the one from?
No, there's opera music in there.
But the thing is, as far as I can recall, I think at least from my theater days back in high school and everything, was that operas were 100% singing.
Oh, all the way through.
Whereas musicals had song talk.
What about the one from BoJack Horseman? What about the one from BoJack Horseman, where the lazy roommate Todd does the rock opera? Seemed good. It seemed like it was good. I haven't seen a rock opera otherwise, so.
Jesus Christ Superstar.
Never.
You ever seen JC Superstar?
Mm-hmm. No.
It's really good.
Yeah, I've got nothing on that topic, I guess.
So, I guess it would...
I mean, there's JC Superstar and then Tommy by The Who are going to be the two big ones.
Operation Mindcrime.
I've never heard of that. Operation Mindcrime?
Yeah.
Okay.
Queensryche.
Oh, okay.
Have you never listened to Operation Mindcrime?
I have not.
You should.
Sorry.
You would probably like it.
Okay. Then Operation Mindcrime for my own safety
Operation
will be our
Mindcrime,
answer.
Or there's another really good one from Dream Theater as well.
There's nothing good from Dream Theater.
6
I got
degrees.
hit with slip away all episode. I had to hit you with
No,
that
you didn't
one.
have to hit me with anything. You could hit me with something later on. We stay with slip away with Brian.
Okay.
No, for the whole episode. It's a callback.
Oh, does rock opera count as like Meatloaf's Bad Out of Hell? Because that'll be fine too.
Maybe. Or I guess, that Daft Punk album is kind of a rock opera because that guy animated a whole movie to match up with it.
Yeah, maybe. That'll work too.
Well, you weren't in the room, though, but Nathan has never heard of Operation Mindcrime.
Me neither.
Boosh!
2 out of 3 Crippled system members do
Has,
not agree.
has anybody else out there actually ever heard of Operation Mindcrime from Queensryche?
Queensryche has never heard of Operation
I only
Mindcrime.
thought
That's their single best stuff. Is Operation Mindcrime. I know somebody who will personally kill you for disparaging it the way you have right now.
Are you that little boy?
No, I'm not. You have you met my friend Sean?
I might have. I don't know. He was supposed to appear on any pain train ever, and he never did.
Yeah.
Zappy.
Guy grumble. Somebody said something about Kingdom Death Monsters. Are we excited?
If somebody wants to buy it for me, sure, but I'm not spending $400 fucking on a board game.
I don't think I've actually ever seen any of them yet. I probably should look.
The game made me super interested when it first came out on Kickstarter. I was like legitimately wanted to pick it up. And now they're like pre-releasing it for like, I think it retails at $400 or $450, and it's a lot of models, and that's fine. But I really feel like the site of the game got lost in a sea of titties. So I just don't know if I don't know if I can respect the game or the company anymore, because they were releasing the models quicker than they were releasing the game, and the game should have been the focus, but they just decided to do pinups galore and make very oddly shaped women because they had big boobs and big hips.
That seems to be the focus of Cool Mania or Not for me, too.
It is. I really wanted to get into Relic Knights. Like, I thought it looked like a really cool game, but then it was ass and titties everywhere. And then I wanted to get into Wrath of Kings, and it seems like if you want to play that game, you got to be a furry.
This is like Octopus Cavalry and stuff.
Yeah, stuff like... Well, the big one, I was like, oh, man, there's rat people in this one faction. That's cool. They're diversifying the demon-esque faction. I was like, does that rat have titties and cleavage? Yep, sure as shit does. And then there's this... It's basically like Diet War Machine is what it seems like. They have this Gortzy faction that's supposed to be about lightning-quick tactics and hit-and-run measures. And I'm like, oh, that sounds like it's neat. Oh, wait, they're all wolves with titties. It's Circle with titties. And it's stupid. I don't like that whole perspective of trying to use boobies to sell a game, and
it's like comics from the 90s. I mean, almost basically it.
I almost just can't respect people who really play that game and think the models are absolutely perfect and amazing. It just doesn't work for me. It's like that wolf has no gender other than the boobs on its chest.
As a painter, I feel weird painting models like that. I don't. It's not like
Well, because you want them to look right. I mean, like there's certain light play that happens that makes things look right, and you want to accentuate it because it's a mini. But then you're just accentuating like naked hips, boobs, and maybe you might see some like labia that you're trying to accentuate too, because you're a painter and you want to do that.
Labia?
Yeah, Cool Mini or Not has a lot of models that are fully nude with a helmet, a sword, and a shield.
Would it be better or worse if the wolves had 6 titties?
No, I think that'd be fine, because then it actually makes sense. But what they're doing is they're anthropomorphizing women into their minis to try and sell them to people that I don't want to have anything to do with. Because if you're going to... I'm going on the very extreme end of things where, like, if you're interested in buying those models because they get you yippy and excited, then I'm classifying you as a certain type of person that I don't want to be around. But if you like the faction and that's just what happens to be there, then sure, I can let that go. But like for the most part, those games really turn me off because they are so hypersexualized, and I don't want to perpetuate that stereotype about the gaming community.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Zappy.
Yeah. Are you on the Facebooks?
I'm on the Facebooks.
Okay, then I won't be on the Facebooks.
All right.
I closed the Facebooks.
Yeah, good.
That was all of the Twitter tweets.
And what are you doing?
Oh.
What are you doing? Yeah.
Somebody text me. Do it.
I was just about to, actually. All right. So Jim asks if you could be a regular on any other podcast, which podcast and why? No limits on the podcast. Make one up if you want.
No such thing as a fish.
I don't know what that is.
That is QI's podcast.
Oh, okay. From the British
show QI. Yeah, that's their podcast.
I think... Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say the title of the podcast is one of my favorite bits of trivia, which is that fish... Like, picture a fish in your head.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's no such thing as like that specific creature exists, but fish as a term is the most useless term that exists. Because like their example is that a salmon is genetically closer to a giraffe than it is to a carp.
Well, yeah, that's like cabbage and people, right?
Yeah, like a cabbage and lettuce are further apart than. But no, I think that even still, like they're like
they share
tree.
the same branch.
Yeah, they're the same branch. But like even things that look the same, like a salmon and a carp, have nothing to do with each other. They're like the carp is actually way closer to elephants and the salmon's way closer to dung beetles, and they just, even though they both look like a fish, there's no genetic or biological thing that actually links them apart from, well, they're fish. Obviously they're fish, which isn't a scientific thing to say.
Yeah. No, I think for me it'd be a mix between Muse on Minis and then Beer Machine, just because I respect both those podcasts a lot. And
you're just stuck with ours.
No, I'm not stuck with yours. It's just that I enjoy Crippled System. If you would have asked me like 5 months ago, it would have been Crippled System.
One of our viewers was actually texting me to make my phone shake.
No, I don't want to replace Crippled System with one of those. This would be something on the side.
Yeah, no, as what the question
I
is
enjoy you people very much.
I just want to hang out with the Muse guys because I like them.
Yeah, I know. Like now that
stupid
Keith's here, I would
podcast.
like to try and hang out with him a little bit here and there. But it seemed like he was very preoccupied at the 6-pack. Plus, he's got a kid and everything now, so things get a little weird. But I'd like to. I think it'd be a good time. I could rub troll dicks with Chad. That'd be fun.
For me, it would probably be either one or the other. I would like to be a regular on the Rooster Teeth podcast because I enjoy their show a lot. I feel like I would fit in fairly well there. The other one, it would be the Joe Rogan podcast. People still texting you?
Your Turn Go is the best podcast. LOL. Take me out of your pocket. You can't ignore me.
But I do like the Joe Rogan podcast as well too.
Joe Rogan's great. I like Joe Rogan.
He's going to be in Madison in November.
There's no MTDs left over for anybody else.
Well, because you guys never asked for one, and this is like.
Andy said that we weren't allowed to drink them. So
I didn't say you weren't allowed to. It's not like I said you can't touch my MGD.
His exact words were that those were beers that we couldn't drink. So I thought that was thing.
He was placing a value statement on this beer.
I would have drank one too.
Then why did you say you can't? I said never once that you couldn't drink this beer. Now you're gonna have to eat my shitty beer chips. Except I get to be the one who goes home half cocked.
Wow!
So you're the one who gets...
somebody is salty today.
Wow.
You talked about Slipaway. Now I'm going to have to go home and beat Amanda. What's up?
I think she could take you.
She probably could,
Yeah.
too. Yeah, she beat the shit out of me.
You just come to the next podcast. It's like,
I fell down the stairs.
And Amanda's like, these are the stairs. Like Captain Hammer style. Her fist stairs and doorknob.
Yep.
Zavity.
Humble.
All right, next one is you can bring back any canceled show back, but it'll only last one additional season and sadly be a letter grade worse in quality than the last season. Which do you bring back for a last hurrah and why?
I could go with Code Monkeys. We did talk about it, but it did make me reminisce about how I wish it lasted longer.
Yeah.
And I think I could deal with A-level Code Monkeys going to like B-level Code Monkeys.
I'm embracing the letter grade drop. I'm going with Cop Rock. I want another year of Cop Rock. The world needs the joy.
I don't know.
Cop Rock, man, come
Never saw
on.
it.
It's Law and Order, but a musical.
I don't.
There was a
think I could
goddamn
even deal with
season
that.
of this.
That's
No.
rough.
Yeah,
I think I would have been more happy if you said dinosaurs.
Dude, come on. First of all, Dinosaurs was fucking amazing.
Yeah, it was like
You-
Roseanne with dinosaurs.
but
It was
you
amazing.
can't-
Second of all, wouldn't bring it back because it had the best series finale ever.
Yeah,
is the
you
point
can't
Andy's
bring it
about to
back.
make.
Yeah, you can't bring that show back for another season. Well, you could do it Sledgehammer style.
You could.
Actually, that's my answer right
It's
now.
the third season of Sledgehammer.
I went third season of the Sledgehammer. David Rash he's doing stuff. He can do Sledgehammer again.
Yeah.
He should, because he's amazing.
I saw a DVD in the family video. Remember when we were looking at Big Ass Spider? There's a DVD that was like from the maker of Sledgehammer. And we're like, whoa! And then we didn't rent it, and I don't remember what it was.
I could also accept having Vikings season 4 right now, because then it would go from S level to A level.
The other show I would like to bring back, but it's one that probably nobody has ever heard of, was a show in the 90s. It followed the dead spot that followed X-Files, where every shale was. No. A show called Strange Luck.
I've heard of it, but never saw it.
It was, if it was on nowadays, it would be pretty well. It was well written at the time, but I don't think it was picked up, mainly because it was at horrible time slots. Only lasted a season, but it was just a guy who had literally strange luck. He was like the only survivor of a plane accident, or a plane crash. Not accident.
Well, it might have been an accident.
Plane accident is like one of the tires goes flat on the runway. Plane crash is a little bit different than that.
I don't know, a car accident. Wait, Roseanne retconned the ending? Well, that's good. The last season of Roseanne made no sense when they were all rich.
Yeah.
Well, no, with that,
and then they flashed back, and it turned out that John Goodman's character was dead, and Roseanne was just delusional.
Yeah, that's a messed up ending.
Yeah, that's morbid shit.
The other one, another good series I think would fit the bill would be Jericho. But Jericho already had the letter grade drop in the second season.
Yeah, they did, and the post cancellation comeback with the letter grade drop.
Yeah. So maybe that's what he was thinking of originally. That show was really good until the second season.
Yeah.
That's where we get the, Zebedee.
Grumble.
What is Scorn missing to be top tier?
Nothing. Fuck you.
What is
They're
what
amazing.
missing?
Scorn.
Scorn? Yeah, no.
Nothing.
They're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the reason people right now are kind of obsessed with Scorn being terrible for two reasons. Number one, they think Zal 2 is bad because they're bad and don't understand that Zal 2 is good. And number two, if you look at the WC numbers that everybody's jerking off over right now, Scorn had really bad numbers. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, I think there was like two people playing Scorn.
So did Mercs, but that's not an overall representation of what the regular meta looks like.
One guy played Mercs, and that one guy happened to go, 1-5, and so Mercs had a shitty win record.
Because he got tossed to shitty matchups.
Because he probably got tossed to shitty matchups as a sacrificial pawn.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And maybe he was just having an off tournament. Mm-hmm. When you have that small of a sample size.
Exactly. It doesn't encompass the whole.
Yeah.
Scorn is perfectly
Plus, those
good.
bugs really open up design space. Even though they're new releases for the new book, supposedly, like their character unit doesn't bring a whole lot more to the faction that was already there. But those bugs open up the design space immensely. Like Xerxes 2 becomes a gun line. Who would have saw that shit?
Right. Yep. Zappity.
Grumble. What should I watch on Netflix next? TV shows only.
Did you already watch BoJack Horseman?
Yeah,
I'm talking to the person, not you.
Mine would be.
I'll wait for his response.
If you haven't seen Archer, I would try and give that a shot because at least it's, first of all, you're hitting someone who's in the War Machine community, and then second of all, it's like an interesting show, and it's nice to be able to reference it every once in a while.
Archer's good. It's on Hulu right now, but I think it is on Netflix as well as The League. I think everyone should watch The League. It's as much as people think that it's about fantasy football, it really has nothing to do about fantasy football. It's like watching Always Sunny, and they own a bar in Always Sunny. Mm-hmm. The bar is about as equivalent to Always Sunny as fantasy football is to The League. It's really about the characters and all the shenanigans that happens around them.
Breaking Bad is on Netflix currently.
I'm trying to think of
scrolling through the current list of the highest rated TV shows on Netflix.
I'm thinking of was it Coach? The one where it was like they were coaching a college football team or a professional football team, and it had nothing to do with that. That kind of fits into that same genre.
Yeah, basically it's their job. Mm-hmm. Somebody who I was talking to, maybe it was you.
Yeah, we brought up taxi. They're taxi
drivers,
drivers, but that doesn't come up a whole lot during the show.
Correct. It's just an occupation that all of them have in common.
Yep. Or Wings. Wings is a really good example.
Yep. So yeah, watch The League. I'm telling you, first season is kind of, again, it's like any other shows. It's kind of slow, but once it starts picking up, and honestly, once the character Rafi gets introduced, It is the best show in the world. Man, Rafi is so good. I should show you guys just a single episode of The League, and maybe it'll get you into it.
30 Rock is a show that is worth binge watching.
It is, yeah.
30 Rock is super good. And, man, I got to say, like, everybody jerks off about how much they love Ron Swanson in Parks and Recreation. He's a great character, whatever. But Jack Donaghy in 30 Rock, like Alec really Baldwin, that character is amazing.
Yep, really good.
It's yeah. I like characters with that type of
presence.
Yeah, that presence. Like Brooklyn Nine-Nine. The captain has got. He has that presence. He has that deadpan. Fucking awesome humor.
Bing pot.
God. Yep.
Oh, he's so good.
Season 3's out on Hulu
for
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yep,
that's something to hit up.
Yeah.
Zappity.
That was the last one, I think, right?
Grumble. That was it.
Oh,
that was it. So
action.
we can call it quits.
No,
we got recommendations, and I want to try these fucking chips.
All right, open the right end of it.
I will.
While you're doing that...
Oh, Psych. Somebody mentioned Psych is a good...
Psych is a good one. No, well, what I just found, I literally just... I agreed with this, but there's like hundreds of them on there, so it was too much. But I just Googled TV shows on Netflix.
I tried to open them like a regular bag of chips, but they went shitty on me.
So this website, digitaltrends.com, has a list of the best TV shows on Netflix, and they have it sorted by category, and they have like 20 entries per category, and everything. I scrolled through the drama page, and then the second page was comedies, and then they had a sci-fi, fantasy, and action mystery, a reality TV, Memory Lane, and kids, and everything in the 2 pages I scrolled through was fucking amazing. So go to this digitaltrends.com, and they have a list of the best things on Netflix. They just updated it 2 days ago, so there's your stuff. Are these good?
Yeah, they're interesting, actually. I could actually sit down and eat a bunch of these.
These don't taste like beer cheese at all.
No, not beer. Well, they're supposed to taste like beer, but they don't taste like that either. They just taste like a flavor of chip.
No, I can taste the beer.
A little bit, but I guess I just drink shitty beers, so...
No, I can't really taste the beer. It doesn't... It tastes like just a flavored chip.
I was hoping for more. It is a flavored chip. It's not a flavor I can put my nose on.
It has that little sourness at the beginning of it. You know? I know, like, you like the sea salt and vinegar chips. I do, too, whatever. It has that little bit of acidity at the beginning that I think is the beer taste.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, if you guys are... If anybody out there's near a Costco that's selling these fucking beer chips for $5 for a 2-pound bag, hit it up. It's pretty good.
I'm going to finish chewing,
yeah.
And I have a recommendation.
Swallow.
Right. So, Grindr, or The Grindr. I think it's just Grindr, which is a sitcom.
It's also an app.
That's not without the E. Yes, Grindr, the app. I recommend that, too, if you're a homosexual looking for casual sex. Or, you know what, not to narrow it down. I don't care what your sexuality is. If you want to find a man to have sex with, Grindr is useful. You can be a straight man who just feels like having sex with a man.
Yeah, maybe just like, I want to try it.
No, try it. Never know until you try it twice. That's what Jeremy always said. Anyway.
That's why he likes mojitos.
Tried them twice. Anyway. No, the sitcom with the Rob Lowe and the Wonder Years kid.
Wait, you're talking about a show that's on? Is it on Fox? It's a Fox show that's a comedy that's good. I don't understand. It's not like Dr. Ken. Come on, Dr. Ken looks amazing because they've shown the same fucking commercial over and over and over with the same stupid music in the background.
Yes,
the doctor.
Yes. Yes, they have.
As an aside, I feel like Once Upon a Time, the new season, episode 1, was really just a half-hour-long commercial.
Well, that's why Blind Spot came out, and then the AV Club review for Blind Spot, some of the moms like, oh, I haven't heard of this show. They should have advertised it or something. It's like, yeah, no shit. God, I'm so sick of seeing... I never thought I'd get sick of seeing that actress naked, and I was just sick of those fucking commercials.
I like the Blacklist when it's on a woman. Because that's basically what that show is. It's the Blacklist.
But have you guys Grindr or just too much Dr. Ken? Do you know this?
No, I know Grindr. It's Rob Lowe with Fred Savage.
With Fred Savage. But what it is see, I actually watched it twice. the pilot episode, because I half watched it, because Raylene just put it on Hulu. She's like, I'm going to watch this, and I'm like, yeah, that's going to be terrible. So I ignored it, and I was playing on the internet, and then I was laughing at it, even catching it just out of the corner of my ear. So to make sure I wasn't completely wrong, I watched it again today, and it's funny. And Fred Savage's wife, I recognized her, and I had to Google it. She's the waitress from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, really?
Fred
Oh, okay.
Savage's wife
Okay.
on that. But the premise of it is that Rob Lowe is basically Rob Lowe, superstar actor.
But he plays a lawyer.
He played a lawyer, like the dramatic, Perry Mason style lawyer, and his show just ended, and he's moved back in with his brother, and his brother is an actual lawyer who hates his portrayal of lawyers, but now, of course, they work together to solve lawyery problems, and he does his flashy stuff, and everybody's like, yeah, none of that's admissible because you're not a lawyer, and then Fred Savage has to actually lawyer it in. So it's going to be formulaic. Every episode's going to just be the two of them. He does flashy, other guy does
It's
the
like a
actual
good
legal
cop,
work.
bad cop thing.
Yeah, well, it's
but
like
translated to lawyer jargon.
Well, like there have been several. What was the movie, the Eddie Murphy De Niro one, where like Eddie Murphy was an actor and De Niro was an actual cop, but they worked together to solve like a big crime? It was terrible, but the point is, it's like that. So it's not even good cop, bad cop. It's
Good cop,
good cop,
bad
fake
cop.
cop. Good cop, fake cop.
I thought you said good cock, bad cop.
Yeah, it's a good cop with a bad cock, or a good cock on a bad cop. Which would you rather?
I think I'd take a good cock on a bad cop.
Point is, the writing was super good. Clever, snappy, fun. Rob Lowe's amazing. Fred Savage was good. Yeah, make it a T-shirt.
Just a shot of Brian's head. I think I'd like a good cock on a bad cop. Crippled system. Sorry, we're completely derailing.
Right? Oh, like I'm going to complain about this show getting derailed?
Yeah.
I just didn't want things to, slip away from me here.
God damn it.
Your turn.
Fuck that. So, I got really pissed off at Netflix for pulling off a lot of their really good foreign films. And if you can find it out there, the film Recycle is really good. It's a Korean film. The only thing I would say is that if you have issues with electively terminating a pregnancy, it probably wasn't something that you're going to want to watch if you have some issues with that. But I would definitely say Recycle is a really good artsy film. It's not gory. It's not like the ABCs of death level discomfort, but it's definitely stylistically could make you a little uncomfortable. But it's definitely a good movie to check out if you can find it somewhere.
I think I saw a trailer for it. Is it recent?
No, it's not recent.
Okay,
It's very
okay.
old.
I thought I saw a trailer for something recently.
Early 2000s, maybe.
Did you see, speaking of Asian artsy kind of films on Netflix, I'm a Cyborg and That's Okay?
I had
Android?
it in...
Android, not Cyborg? Whichever one.
I had it in my queue for a long time, but I
Never got around
hadn't
to
seen
watching
it.
it.
No,
Yeah, it's good.
The Old Boy opened up my world before the Americanized version came out. The Revenge series was really good. I liked it a lot, and Recycle kind of came in with that too for me. So I think if you really like those stylized foreign or mostly Korean films, because they do things a lot differently than other genres, or not genres, but areas of filming do. Like if there's a country that's characterized by its film work or vice versa, then I would say Korean films are really a good one for that. Korean horror films or Korean thrillers.
Sure.
It's a good one. Definitely try and find it and watch it.
I guess that's up to me now.
It is.
I don't really have anything. I already recommended The League. I mean, that was the main thing.
Yeah, but that was an answer to a question.
That
We
was an
recommended
answer.
it 7 times on this show.
It has been.
Recommend letting someone build your lists for you, so you can spark some creativity. Oh, you know what'd be interesting is if you had you set up a game with someone and had them build a list for you, and then you build their list, and then you play that shit. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, people talk about that all the time and having worst list competitions
Yeah, the
and stuff
worst
like that.
list.
But the issue always comes down to what does it always come down? It's just weird.
Well, there's a lot of things where worse is. I think there's a Facebook group that kind of had a worse caster tournament, and it's subjectively. You can't, trolls are a really good example. I cannot think of one caster who is terrible. For a while it was Gunbjorn, but the changes to the Gargantuan or like Mountain King, and the introduction of the Glacier King really changed his game a lot. So I can honestly say there is no such thing as a bad Trollcaster. It does not exist.
Oh, you know what it was actually? The ones that always fail was the ones where it was like you design the worst list for your stuff, and they design the worst list for their stuff, and then you use each other's models.
Yeah.
And that falls apart because of the handling each other's models stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I do have a small recommendation then.
Too late now.
Oh, well, fuck it.
No, fine. What's
No,
your
go for it. That's called creative
my
brainstorming.
my recommendation would be to watch The Fear of the Walking Dead.
I'm really
It's-
apprehensive to anything Walking Dead, so I would watch. I'll watch an episode just for
Did you? Are you current with The Walking Dead, or
I'm not
are you one of
current.
the folks that stopped during season 2?
No, I stopped when I had an entire semester of The Walking Dead as a class. That's when I stopped.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I had a very unorthodox English professor in college,
Oh, fuck them.
and we had an entire semester devoted to the Walking Dead comic book.
But not the show.
Not the show. The show came out just as we were in the middle of that that
Professor was
class.
excited about that, I'm sure.
She was a great professor. She did a lot of wonderful things, and she really opened up my mind to education. Because before I hit college, I was just that drunken tattooed piercer that would just go out and have fun. But then she made me think a little bit more and open up my mind.
You're still the drunken tattooed piercer.
But I'm very much more open
But I don't know.
and
It's
analytical.
It's a different take
anal.
on the show because it takes place during the actual transition from normal society to when society falls apart. You get to basically watch stages of that. Unlike The Walking Dead, where you got to see the very beginning of that,
And then way after.
and then way after
You don't
after
get-
Rick wakes up from the coma, and then
Yeah,
you
don't get to
see
fill
the
in
aftermath.
blanks.
And that blank filling is kind of interesting because you know more than what all the characters know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, one of the big things. I'm going to spoil it. I don't care.
Spoilers, they're zombies.
No, well, the fact that
No?
everybody in the world is already infected.
Right,
They're already
but that's
infected
not how it
with.
works. Yeah.
It's not like that. You get bit and they transmit it to you. No, you get bit and it just works quicker.
Well, it's not even that. It's two
when you
unrelated
die.
things. Dying turns you into a zombie. Full stop. That is a fact.
Yep.
Their death is disease-ridden and will cause death. But that's no different than being bit by a Komodo dragon. You know,
Correct.
there's
Correct.
nothing about a zombie's bite that's a direct makes you into a zombie.
Interesting fact about Komodo dragons. They could kill themselves due to like some type of poisoning because they can't digest their food easily. So what they have to do is sit in the sun and let it rot to the point where it's a little bit more digestible for their system. So if they sit out in the sun too long, they actually die because their food poisons them. Interesting.
Interesting. All right, we should probably call it. We're running over
What?
2 hours.
Oh, well, then we should call it.
That's a Musecast.
Yeah, it's their second in a row.
Man.
Yep. All right. Zappy Grumble out.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.